To another episode of the Fair One podcast. We will be covering tonight's card, Luque versus Dos Anjos. Interesting card today, so we'll see how this goes. I don't know that I like Dos Anjos that much at welterweight, so I don't see necessarily that he's going to be able to get past Luque. I don't think. I think that, like a lot of guys, when they move up in the division, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. But I think in Dos Anjos' case in particular, I think it's a little bit difficult because he's kind of loses the mechanical advantage that he had before. So the advantages that he had, I think, at lightweight. The other thing, he's 38 years old, man. He's not a young fellow anymore. So at 38 years old, it's already going to be a difficult thing to be able to do. And then his style, he doesn't really carry that big power over into welterweight that he did have. He did have some snap in at lightweight, and then also his ability to grapple. He's got very good jiu-jitsu, very, very good jiu-jitsu, but I don't think he's able to apply that wrestle grappling game with the younger guys in that division, so I think that that's going to be a little bit difficult for him. And Luque is a guy, the only thing that I'm not sure about is how Luque will be coming back from, he had a brain surgery of all things. I don't know how big or how bad it is comparatively, like to other things. Like I don't know. All I know is that it can't be good. So let's see how that goes. I think Roundtree is going to get it done. I think he hits like a truck. I don't think Daukus is going to be able to handle the shots. I don't think he's going to be able to really deal with the leg kicks and with just the overall power and physicality that Roundtree provides. I think it's a little bit much. So I think that's who I pick in those two fights at the top there. And Luque is a beast, man. So yeah, no, I don't necessarily see that either one of those. That's how I see those two fights going. That'd be my pick. Beetlejuice says, "Oh snap, Fab is back. Good morning." SG says, "Greetings, Fab." Beetlejuice says, "Interesting fights today. Did you catch Adesanya's coach Eugene's recent interview?" I did not. SG says, "Brain aneurysm sounds something like that." Yeah. Nah, any sort of hemorrhage, anything with the brain, it can't be good. Like there's nothing that's going to come good from that. I just hope that he's all right. I don't know. Just even if you can change it, physically, like even if you go, yeah, all right, you're good to go. I imagine that somewhere in the back of your mind, it would still be there. Like it'd still be, will you fight with the same confidence necessarily that you had before? So that's a little asterisk that I'd put next to his name, as Vicente Luque, as far as winning this fight. But I don't see Dos Anjos being able to apply his style, his physicality and whatnot against Luque. I don't see it. I see, and also Luque he's very, very good. He has a really good ability to avoid the submissions and go for submissions of his own. He's pretty good. I don't necessarily see him submitting Dos Anjos, but over 5 rounds for Dos Anjos to win, I can't see Dos Anjos picking him apart, and I can't see Dos Anjos out wrestling him for 5 rounds, even if he manages to do it for 1 or 2 rounds. I think that Luque was probably going to get a stoppage somewhere late in the fight. That's my opinion. Beetlejuice says Roundtree has amazing Muay Thai skill. He has very good Muay Thai skills, man, and he hits like a truck, man. He hits like a truck. I think an important thing with Roundtree, and you see it with guys a lot of the times, like he found the style that he likes and he found the thing that he does, and he's kind of pushed all in with it. And I think he's a really different fighter to what he was a few years ago, just from finding that the thing that you really love to do and that suits your body type. SG says, also kind of ashamed that a top fighter like Luque might have to retire early if it happens again. Man, to be honest with you, I don't even know if it happens again. Like, as in, like, I don't know if that's a thing. Like, I think if you have a brain hemorrhage or something like that, you probably wouldn't even be good for you to be fighting. I can't imagine that it'd be good for you to continue fighting. regardless of it, So I don't know. Beetlejuice says Eugene said that Drickus should have fought with his injury if he wanted to fight Izzy, but now that he can't fight due to injury, Drickus has to earn his shot again. Yeah, I don't know about the interviews and all of that. I'm pretty sure that fight's going to happen. I think that's probably just to drum up, interest and keep it going. But I don't see that as a thing. I think that they're going to fight Drickus regardless. Of course, it would have been better for them if Drickus fought him injured. Of course, if you could pick that for sure, good for him. That's yeah. This Josh Fremd versus Jamie Pickett. I picked Josh Fremd. I think he's a big guy. I think that Pickett's also a big fellow, but he's kind of getting to the end. He's like 34, 35 years old. He's never really cracked that upper echelon of the division, Jamie Pickett. And I see that as the fight goes back and forwards, I think that Josh Fremd's just going to get it done somewhere after that second round, after 7 or 8 minutes. Whether it's a decision or not, I don't know, but I just see that Josh Fremd will take away the fight after about 6 or 7 minutes. I think he's going to put it on him and yeah, he's going to get that one done. SG says, right now, how crazy is that? One day you're at the top of your game and the next you can never fight again. The duality of sports. That's, man. But that's like life in general, man. Everything can be going good 1 minute and, shit changes like that. That's life in general, Beetlejuice says, check out the interview if you get a minute. Basically, he was saying Izzy will fight Drickus if Drickus is injured. But this is one thing you gotta. I haven't watched it. I probably won't watch it, but so I can't quote it. But if I could pick, I would want the guy to be as injured as possible to fight my guy. You know what I mean? That's the truth. SG says Eugene came in with the hottest take of all. He should have fought us injured. He should have, for them, you know what I mean? From his perspective, you want to stack the chips for you as much as possible. You don't want any advantage for the other fellows. So yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to comment on people at all. That's nothing. Randy says, hey, Fab. Hey, Randy, what's happening, mate? How you doing? Yeah, I'm not going to comment on people in particular. But, yeah, no, it's just – but I will say that, yeah, if you're going to fight someone, you're going to want them to be, as you want the best for you. Yeah. SG says the guy literally said he should have fought us injured. Now he has to earn his way to a title shot. Man, I'll tell you something though, at the end of the day, everyone's talking about it, everyone's talking about what he said. And so I think, he's well aware that was the situation that was going to happen, Give me 1 second, because has there been a reshuffle of this card? I wasn't aware of this. Nobody told me. All right. Yeah, no, I wasn't. How's the gym going, Fab? Well, the gyms, one of them's built. We won't be opening that one until a bit later in the year. And the other, it's more like a studio than a gym, and that's going really, really well. I can't complain. It's going well. It's not a big gym. It's just more like a studio, small classes for people that want to learn just the basics of jiu-jitsu and basics of boxing. If you're a beginner, that's what the gym's for. Sorry, I'm having problems with my internet here. Did I ever? A lot of fighters, people are going to carry injuries, but there's different stages in your career. I wouldn't, what I wouldn't do, there's different things. If you have a shot, say, for example, let's use Drickus as example, right? If if you have that on lock, like you have that guaranteed, you're going to be able to you're going to get a title shot against someone like Israel, and you're guaranteed the title shot, and you don't have to just watching here. So the ages are the same. 34 fights 29. And this is what I was saying to you before. 6'4", so he's taller is Josh Fremd. And the reach advantage goes to Jamie Pickett. Fremd's a little bit heavier. But I was gonna say to you as well, when like we were talking about it before, when the guys are over 30 and there's like 5 years difference between them, like the younger guy wins over 60% of the time. Of course, depends who you fight and the rest of it, but this is a big number taking over like thousands of fights or hundreds of fights. So yeah. Now going back to what we were asking about, would you send people out to fight injured? It just depends. And it depends on the injury, right? It depends on the injury. Not all injuries are the same. Not like even the same injury, like between me and somebody else, might be very different. Like depending on the musculature that I have, depending on my history that I have of injuries or whatever. So all of those things matter a lot, And if you have a shot at someone but you hadn't solidified it, but Daukus, when he beat Rob, he basically punched that ticket. You know what I mean? So when he got that shot, why would you risk fighting Israel Adesanya of all people when you have that fight? Especially Israel himself has drummed up the fight to the extent that he has. All right, we're about to start here in round 1. Jamie Pickett, and even that conversation is drumming up the fight even more. You know what I mean? So that fight's going to happen. So no, if I was Daukus's people, I wouldn't have taken that fight. Josh Fremd is just pouring with his left hand, looking for a jab, looking for the front kick. They're standing orthodox to southpaw. Jamie Pickett in the southpaw stance. Jamie Pickett goes looking for a leg kick. Nothing happening. Josh Fremd's holding the center of the octagon. I imagine that Josh Fremd's going to try and get this to the ground. Looks for a right kick, does Josh Fremd, to the body of Jamie Pickett. Jamie Pickett lunges in with a jab. Right high kick, swing and a miss. Oblique stomp by Josh Frem. Both these guys are kind of standing on the periphery of each other's range, and they're throwing like jabs and kicks, but neither one of them is committing. It would be hard as well. I think they're trying to deal with each other's range because they're both pretty long. Oh, Jamie Pickett lands a nice left hand, does Jamie Pickett. Another oblique kick by Josh Fremd. Josh Fremd holding the center of the octagon. He's looking for that right kick to the head. 3:52 to go in the first round. Again with the oblique kicks from Josh Fremd. And that just makes Jamie Pickett keep moving back. Jamie Pickett looks for the lead left hand. The right high kick just grazed off the top of Jamie Pickett's head. And now Fremd has him up against the cage. He's got a deep left underhook. I'd like to... This is exactly almost more or less a position that Bo Nickel had him in. If you're Jamie Pickett, he's already got the left underhook, right? So it's a bit of situational awareness. He's got the double underhooks. He should be doing everything he can to get his left hip towards, moving left to get off the cage. But the head position's won by Josh Fremd here, and he's holding Jamie Pickett up against the cage. In this situation now, whilst he has a left underhook, he could be looking to frame Jamie Pickett to get off the cage. He's not doing a great job of getting off the cage, is Jamie Pickett. Josh Fremd's doing a good job of getting superior head positioning. But this is a weird position because Josh Fremd doesn't have an underhook. And Jamie Pickett, now Jamie Pickett's just walking him off the wall. I was just about to say this. Like, he doesn't have an underhook. He's just holding on tight to an overhook is Fremd and then framing off him. But he didn't really have the position to be able to hold him there with no underhooks. It's relatively rare that you see somebody be able to hold another person against the wall with no underhooks. And he's doing it. And he's doing it relatively easily. So there's 2 minutes to go, and Fremd is holding Pickett up against the cage. Again, Pickett can just walk off the cage, which he's basically done a couple of times. I think he went for the left knee to the solar plexus. It did Josh Fremd. Now Josh Fremd has an underhook. He hasn't got the head position. He got his head position back. He's got the left underhook. Pickett has got the bicep control. Now Pickett could get this right, his own left underhook here and get off the cage. For some reason, he seems to be a bit lost up against the cage there, and Josh Fremd is doing a good job of exploiting that. He's got that. He's got a way out, does Pickett. But Josh Fremd's just basically just big brothering him against the cage. And there's 1 minute to go. He just keeps fighting the head position. Now, whilst this is not the best viewing, like you're watching this going, man, this guy's just hugging him against the wall and blah, 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 and you shouldn't get points for this type of control. But I will tell you this would be exhausting for Jamie Pickett. This would be really, really exhausting. It's a tough situation with the person just grinding you like that. Now, Jamie Pickett has the better position now. He's circled off. He has the underhooks. Let's see what Josh Frem does. Josh Frem's got double overhooks. There's 40 seconds to go in this first round. They're just wrestling on the wall, basically, this round. So it's going to be interesting to see who prepared for this kind of fight. And to me, Josh Frem just looks the more efficient of the two. See, he was able to get off the cage. I think Jamie Pickett's a little bit lost with that, fighting against the cage. Jamie Pickett goes head hunting. Oh, a little jumping front kick by Josh Fremd. Neither one of them does much damage on the feet. I think Jamie Pickett's throwing the better left hands. There's 5 seconds to go. Nice right high kick by Josh Fremd, and they exchange shots in the middle, and that's the round. You'd give it to Josh Fremd for sure, just because he was able to hold him up like that. So yeah, that was I don't think that Jamie Pickett was really prepared for that kind of fight against the cage like that. You didn't see him winning some of those positions, and I think he's going to pay the price later in the fight for sure. I don't think he's going to go even if he goes the whole way. I think Josh Frem's going to win, because it's just going to be more of the same, and he's going to as Pickett fatigues, the holes are going to become bigger in his game. How old was I when I started wrestling? I started wrestling, grappling, middle just when I was about 18, 19, but I did martial arts since I was a little kid, since I was about 5 or 6. And we're about to start again. Second round is about to start. SG says, also personally not a fan of fighters picking their fights, especially when guys like Izzy use it to act like they're in charge. In fairness to Izzy, he's won all his fights. You know what I mean? He's defended the belt many, many times. So he's going to be the one calling those shots. You know, that's going to be just the way that it is. The big exchanges now. Jamie Pickett may have hurt Josh Frem. Josh Frem's going for a double leg. He's in pretty deep. Is he able to? He's locked the legs together, but Pickett's done a good job of defending. He's got the deep underhooks. That was a big flurry from both fellows there. And again, I think Josh Frem's going to lean into him, tire him out. See this here, how he has that underhook. He has to look for, yes, and now he's managed to get the way out. There's 4 minutes to go in the second round. And Jamie Pickett looks for a jab down the middle. They're both still orthodox to southpaw. Nice body kick by Josh Fremd. Pickett goes looking for the left hand, but he's starting to throw more with just one shot with that left hand than being able to put combinations together. But he did land a left hand on Fremd just then. Inside low kick by Josh Fremd. They exchange low kicks. Josh Fremd is taking up the position of the center of the octagon, with Pickett skirting the outside. Oh, lands a nice, tidy little jab on Pickett then. Pickett didn't react well to that. He didn't react well to that shot. Nice front kick down the middle. See here where Josh Frem was starting to follow Pickett around. I'd rather see him cutting off the center of the octagon. Once again, he gets the body lock, pushes Pickett up against the cage. Pickett's starting to fatigue more and more as Josh Fremd leans into him and is able to wear him down. This is what I was saying. He wins a head position, and he's not using the underhook to get off the cage. He could basically walk off, which he just did then. But I think Josh Frem landed a knee up the middle. There's 2 minutes and 51 seconds to go. See how Josh Frem frames and he's looking for a way out and he got out? That's what Jamie Pickett has to do, and he doesn't do it, and he doesn't do it with a sense of urgency. Nice elbow there landed by Fremd. Here he needs to frame, does Pickett, and get out of the way. And Josh Fremd's just leaning into him, looks for a spinning elbow, misses it. Pickett's in deep, but I think Josh Fremd's got this guillotine. It's an arming guillotine. It's in very deep. He's doing the right things. He's moving his chin towards the back of Jamie Pickett's neck. Oh, well done by Jamie Pickett. I did not think Jamie Pickett was going to get out of that one. I would have liked to see Fremd rotate a little bit more to his right hip. But, it was a decent attempt, and Pickett was able to get out of it. 1 minute and 56 seconds to go. Now, with Pickett on top, that means that he did get his takedown. Josh Fremd, his body language is not looking good. He spun to his hands and knees. I would have thought he would have tried to get up into like a parterre position and try and get up, but it wasn't. He was on his elbows, which is not a good sign. And now Pickett's got his back. Frem needs to get his right shoulder to the cage. He's doing a good job of controlling the far leg, is Pickett. Josh Fremd has to get his head up and push into the cage and use Pickett's body. He's trying to do that now. Is Pickett going to be able to ride him and get him back down? I don't know. Both of these guys will be pretty exhausted, I imagine, from this exchange. Very good. Nice elbows by Josh Fremd. There's a minute to go. There's a lot of time to work here. I don't think that Pickett's going to be able to finish it here, whereas Josh Fremd's going once again for a high elbow guillotine. I don't know if he's going to get it. It's certainly in deep. It is deep. Pickett gives up the takedown, so he's on his back now because that guillotine was in pretty deep. With 46 seconds to go, Josh Fremd can do a lot of damage here if he can, because I don't think Pickett's going to get up from the bottom here. I don't think he is. I think Pickett's starting to get very, very tired. He closes his guard. That's a sure sign he's not looking to get up. And Josh Fremd is stacking him a little bit up against the cage. He could do a better job of doing that. And now he's got 20 seconds to go. Let's see if Josh Fremd's able to actually land some damage here from the top. Pickett pushes him away, but Josh Frem stays on top. There's 14 seconds to go. Now he's starting to land some ground and pound on Jamie Pickett. With 8 seconds to go, I'd like to see him land some big shots here if he wants to look good in front of the judges. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the second round. Andrew says, hey, Fab, was so happy when I saw the comeback. This is the first time I've been able to capture you live. Have you fully finished studying now? I believe you're doing a master's. If so, congratulations. Hey, Andrew, actually, I'm not finished my master's because I've gone back. I've just had, after COVID, I had work projects that I had to get onto, which had been slowed down because of COVID. Now I was able to go back and finish them. So and then I had 3 kids. So I don't know. I'll probably revisit the study when my kids go back, when my kids go to school or something, or if a paternity test comes back and I find out that they're not mine or something, then I can go back to study. But until then, I have to look after them. So I won't be able to do any of the study right this second. So now we're going to see the third round. I think that Josh Fremd's winning. I'm not judging the fight. I'm just calling the fight. But I would imagine that Josh Fremd is winning. That was probably a better round by Jamie Pickett because he launched some sort of offense, but I don't think it was enough. And now we're off again, guys. And Josh Fremd's coming forward again, controlling the center of the octagon. Pickett goes in with a flurry, a left and a right. Oh, nice exchanges. He caught Josh Fremd there. Not huge amount of power, but he definitely caught him. Josh Frem does not look good with Pickett coming in, landing the shots. This is if Pickett wants to win this fight, he has to get the finish. And when he comes forward and he throws with power and he throws with confidence, it flusters Josh Frem. The takedowns and these exchanges do not help Pickett. Good attempt at a reversal here by Frem, but Pickett looks to have gotten the takedown. And he does. He's got the takedown. He's in butterfly guard kind of with Josh Frem. And so let's see what happens here. Let's see if Josh Frem's able to get up from the bottom. But I don't think that if Pickett just holds Josh Frem down, I don't think that he's going to get the win. He has to get the finish here, in my opinion. Again, I'm not judging the fight. I'm just watching the fight. You know, that's just my opinion of it. And he's taken the back of Josh Frem. He hasn't got the hooks in, but he has got him behind him. You follows Josh Frem, or you'd say, Jamie Pickett's going to fall off because he's not going to finish. He's going for a Kimura attempt. It looked like a kind of Kimura trap, but it's not going to happen here. It's not, no. And now he's on his back, and he's not going to win this fight. There's 3 minutes and 23 seconds to go. Josh Frem has won the head position, whilst Jamie Pickett has the underhook. Josh Frem threatens with a guillotine, but that's he's doing the right thing. He's controlling the head with the shoulder pressure there. That's for Josh Frem to win this fight. He can just stay where he is, and he's going to win the fight. He's going to land little elbows from the top here. Now he's got on that far underhook, which is, paramount for controlling it. And if he pushes his right knee across like he just did then, he just flattens Pickett out, and he's going to do that. Now, Pickett's not the best at using the wall to get up. I don't even see him being able to get up in these next 2 minutes and 40 seconds, and I see Josh Frem winning it. So he's doing a good job of trying to get up. Here against the cage, it's elevation. Whoever's head's higher is going to win, and Josh Frem has gotten his head higher than Pickett's at this stage, and he's pushing Pickett's head down. He's using a lot of energy to get up, and he's still got his legs tied up by Frem. It's a lot of energy. What I'd like to see, by the time that one of them gets up, if he gets up, you really want to throw a small shot to the body to make sure that you get that shot off first and you disrupt the breathing. See what happened there? Frem was on both his knees. When you're on both your knees like that, you give a huge amount of advantage for your opponent to get up. That's a big mistake there by Frem, I think. 1 minute and 40 seconds to go. But I do think he's just going to grind this fight out. He's looking for the takedown again. Oh, get off your knees, Josh Frem. 1 minute and 35 seconds to go. The problem here is, even if Jamie Pickett gets off this cage, which I don't think he will, but even if he did, I don't think that he has it in his arms to throw any big shots anymore to be able to get Frem out of there with 1 minute and 20 seconds to go. I don't see Jamie Pickett being able to get away with anything here. Jamie Pickett Jamie looked kind of like an Uchimata from Frem there when Jamie Pickett had actually won the head control. Both gentlemen fighting for position. This has been the tail of the whole fight, is Josh Frem pushing Pickett up against the cage, winning the head control, tiring him out, grinding on him. It's not the most exciting fight, but it's effective, It's effective. With 45 seconds to go, Jamie Pickett needs a stoppage. Is he going to land that left hand that he's been looking for the whole fight? Or is Josh Frem going to be able to push him up against the cage? I just don't think that Pickett has the firepower to go. Now, he's very hesitant on his shots. That oblique kick from Josh Frem has kept Pickett moving back. Josh Frem pushes him once again up against the cage, and he's holding him with a body lock. There's 14 seconds to go. Again, it's weird to me that, nice little combination there landed by Pickett with 8 seconds to go, a right and a left. The right hand landed by Frem, 3 seconds to go, and that's a wrap, ladies and gentlemen. I'd be very surprised if it goes the other way. I don't see Pickett winning this fight. So let me see what's been written here. Oh, Randy says, how common is steroid use in the UFC? Very, very, very common. Very common. The problem is, man, that like if something, when you see someone and their performances and everything are so good, like I can't say to you, this is who I think. I'm not going to say that. But when people's like performances are so good that they're outside of the norm, like I don't know, you got guys that are like 40 something. For example, I'm just going to use an example, don't read into it, but you got guys that are 45 years old, still fighting, still winning, and blah, 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 blah. And you're like, that's so, it's unnatural. It's because it is, and there's those kind of if you just look at when testosterone starts to drop, and you see guys that when the testosterone starts to drop, the performance starts to increase. This is not normal. This is not thing. And then you look at it like you're fighting young guys. This is not, it's not possible. You know what I mean? And that's a big one. Like I can't go into I think this person or I think that person. But to me, there's some really obvious stuff. And the other thing you got to remember as well, like USADA is not, and I said this before, I said this years and years and years ago when I was doing the podcast. USADA works for the UFC. They're not like an independent body. That they are an independent body, but they work for the UFC. It's not like they can go and say, no, this guy's not fighting. And there's records, like this is public knowledge, like that this has happened. You know what I mean? It's not if you're a big draw, if you're a big person like that and you're winning fights and everything, like just look at the history of it. I don't even want to start naming people. Ophon says, good to see you live, man. It's been years. Yes, sir. I know. I'm glad to be back. AJ Dobson. I don't know. This fight, I think this fight here is going to be a bit of a pick'em. Hassan Ahmed says, hey, Fab, how you doing? Popping in to say hello before I go to sleep. It's 12:31 in the safest city in England, Birmingham. How are you, sir? How you doing? Teflon versus AJ. I think that, thank you for coming on, Hassan. I really appreciate it, man. Really appreciate you saying hello. This is kind of this is kind of like a pick'em fight to me, because whilst I think AJ is probably the tidier of the two, I think Teflon has fought. No, I think he has definitely fought at light heavyweight, and he's a big fellow in there as well. And he's got some proper striking experience. I don't know. I'm leaning towards Teflon in this one. I think AJ is going to look good early. Who knows? Offon says, I was kind of wondering about some of the recent performances when people are older. I don't want to say any names either, since you're entrenched in the fight game and don't want anyone to be mad at you. Yeah, and it's also like you can't just say like, oh, this guy's on the juice because he's too good. But there's cases where dudes have been popped, dude. Like, and even when people, this is the best thing, when people go, no, but it was a tainted supplement, and you go, it doesn't matter. It still wasn't like, you still weren't natural. Whether it was my mum injecting me with fucking stanozol while I'm asleep, it's still, I'm not fucking natural. It'd be like I'm asleep and my wife pumps me full of scotch, then gives me the keys to my car and I drive. I'm still fucking drunk when I drive. I don't understand how people don't understand that stupidity. And then the whole thing with the tainted supplements, like, and I know there are histories of supplements being tainted, but fuck me, dude. If they were tainted to the point that you look like you're like going to IFBB bodybuilding, I've seen some nerdy kids like pump supplements into their bodies and they never look like they're fucking a Ninja Turtle. Bodybuilder says USADA is just there to prevent UFC getting blown up like WWF did in the early 90s. I think that USADA is there because to legitimize the sport, to make it so people go, oh, they get drug tested. And shout out to MMA Guru. I saw a clip of him, a small clip of him. But I said this as well. I said this before. I said this years ago when people talk about Lance Armstrong and that. Dude, they caught Lance Armstrong fucking centuries later. They didn't catch him when he was doing it. So it's come on, man. Like, Michael Kavicha says, is there anything Pickett could have done about being pressed into the cage? No, that's what I was saying during the fight. I was saying, like, he had some of those hand positions. He had the underhook. I don't understand why he didn't. Like, if I have an underhook, if I have my right underhook in, I can either frame on your chin. I don't know if you can see me. So if I have my right underhook in, I can frame on the chin and move, or I can move towards my underhook. As soon as my bum is no longer on the cage, I've got to get out. If I have an overhook, Max Holloway is really good at this. If I have an overhook and I'm against a cage and I frame, I use the fulcrum point of your shoulder and I get my elbow up and I turn my hips, I'll get out the other way. I'll get out on the other, not on the overhook side, I'll get out the other side. I just didn't see him using those positions properly. The other problem is you got to win head position, and Josh Frem had the head position more often than Jamie Pickett did. So that these are very important. SG says their steroids were tainted with vitamins. Yeah, you should go back to whoever you bought the steroids with and say, motherfucker, it had some bits of fucking supplements on here. What are you doing? Yeah, that's what you should have done. That's what it should be done. That's what you should say. The thing that I always tell my friends, says Ofon, is that it sucks that fighters are forced to lie about this sort of thing. The only thing I don't like is when fighters call out other fighters for it when they pop, then they pop years later. Like, come on, man, just keep your mouth shut about it and say you don't care, like Marlon Moraes. Yeah, man. Like, there's some of the guys that are calling people out for being on steroids. Like, I'm like, come on, buddy. Come on, man. We all know. Or if you're part of a team that everybody around you's on it and your performances are superb, and you're going to say, I'm the only one not on it. Like, all right. You know what I mean? Like, no worries. Oliver Aikman says, Fab, I'm here and I love you. Let's go, RDA. Let's go, RDA. But I don't think RDA is going to get it done, Oliver Aikman, and love you right back, mate. Ofon says, I was surprised to see Holloway is set to fight KZ in a few weeks. Oh, that's interesting. I don't know. Michael Page says, do you think dancing out to the cage can put off your opponent? If you're a horrific dancer, yes. If you're a spectacular dancer, yes. Ofon says, for sure, man. Yeah, that's like when you're a kid growing up and you're like, oh, it wasn't me. I was hanging out with the wrong crowd and they were all doing stuff. They were all doing break and enters and doing drugs and doing alcohol, but not me. I hung out with that whole group. I was with them 24 hours a day, but I didn't do any of it. And then I think, well, what the fuck did you do the whole time you were there? Why didn't you hang out with different people? So if you're part of a team that's all like doing performance-enhancing drugs, your performances are fantastic. And your performances are fantastic at a point when naturally your testosterone is lowering, then congratulations to you. Yeah, like I was the good guy, not anyone else. Okay, Teflon's a little bit younger. He's a little bit of a reach advantage. He's heavier, and I think he's a naturally bigger guy. And Dobson is just a little bit older, like 3 years older. Not a big difference, but I will say this: with age, it's a funny thing. Let's say we're all on an even playing field, and this is I will say this about say with Daukus, right? Say Israel's 33, 34 years old. He's 34, 35. The longer as well that Daukus leaves that, right? You don't know when that day will be for Israel, that he slows down a little bit, and Daukus is getting better between fights because he is significantly younger. At that age, at 29 or 34, you're starting to get to that 4 years, 60% kind of thing that you're talking about. Now, Israel is phenomenal. He's not going to be beaten by younger guys 63% of the fucking time. That's not going to happen. He's a phenomenal fighter. But the longer you can leave it, the longer you can drag that out, the better it is for Daukus in every single way. I said this to people before, like if Daukus was smart, he wasn't going to take that fight. You're not going to fight an Israel Adesanya with like every advantage going to him, and Israel, and I'm not bagging Israel for this. He should. It's warfare, you know what I mean? He should stack the chips in his favor as much as he possibly can. You're in there to make as much money as you can and to stack the chips in your favor. That's for sure. Ofon says, or a girl trying to convince you that she's a conservative chick, but all her friends are strippers. Yeah. The fucking thing is, and this is what I was going to say about this girl, fair play to her. You're a fucking idiot if you believe her. This is the problem. All right, we're off, gentlemen. We're off. Dobson's looking for a low kick on Chukwi. He looks like a solid fellow, this Chukwi guy. And he's landed when he lands. They're both in orthodox stance. Dobson looks a little smoother, but the way that Chukwi throws his kicks, he throws them with a lot of power, man. You know, he's got his hands up. Both of these guys do. Hits Dobson with a nice stiff jab. And another leg kick landed by Chukwi. And he's landing them. Dude, he's got tree trunks for legs, this fellow. He lands another one partially checked by Dobson. Dobson goes looking for a kick of his own, but he's definitely feeling these kicks from Chukwi. Definitely feeling them. Chukwi is a little bit stiffer in his movements, but he's a powerful fellow, man. They're both swinging a miss on some kicks. Dobson, nice jab to the body by Chukwi, and again lands a low kick. Dobson's definitely feeling those low kicks, man. Goes looking a little bit higher, does Chukwi to the body, but ineffective. Oh, nice calf kick landed by Chukwi again. Dobson's doing a good job of keeping a poker face on these kicks, but man, he can't take too many more of them. They're definitely landing. It's definitely landing. If you've never been kicked flush to the legs, man, it really takes it out of you. Ooh, another one lands by Chukwi. Combination by Chukwi. I've picked Chukwi to win this fight, and again with another calf kick. Nice answer by Dobson. You have to kick with a kicker, and you have to answer straight away. And Dobson did a good job then. Now he's coming forward. Inside leg kick landed by Dobson. Nice kick to the body by Dobson, but it was caught by Chukwi as well. Nothing going. Another leg kick lands by Chukwi that's partially checked by Dobson. Dobson lands a left kick of his own to the body. Oh, goes looking for a question mark kick. Does Chukwi. Dobson comes in with a big combination. Taken on the gloves by Chukwi. Inside leg kick by Chukwi. Inside leg kick by Dobson. Dobson goes looking for a left kick to the body once again. Dobson's got his left leg out a little bit squarer now. Ready to check the kicks coming from Chukwi and lands a left kick of his own. Dobson's coming to life a little bit more with 2 minutes to go in this fight. I like this fight. This is a good fight. Oi, front kick to the body by both men. Both of them miss. Front kicks. Oi, left kick to the body by Chukwi. Then a left kick. Oh, lands a little kick. Does Dobson to the head of Chukwi. But Chukwi's doing a good job of keeping that right hand up. There's been an adjustment made by Dobson, though. Good, clever work by Dobson. Yes, he checks a kick. He's standing much squarer now. He's standing much squarer, and he's light on that front foot to check that front kick. So it was a very smart and very good adjustment done by Dobson on the fly because he was eating some big shots. He's much squarer now. His toes pointing outwards, so it's much easier for him to check the kick. And Chukwi going to start kicking the inside. Oh, nice little right hand lands by Dobson. Is Chukwi going to look for, steps outside, doesn't Chukwi, and lands another right low kick. Left kick to the body landed by Dobson. Right hand partially lands by Chukwi, and again with a right low kick. That leg will hurt tomorrow for Dobson. It will really, really hurt. And Chukwi's doing a good job of stepping outside and kicking the thigh now. Oh, left kick by Chukwi. 42 seconds to go in this round. $33 seconds to go. Nice low kick lands by Dobson. Dobson, they're both trading side. Both of them taking on the gloves. They trade jabs. Left kick to the body once again by Dobson. Front kick attempt by Chukwi. Partially caught by Dobson. Now Dobson catches the kick. There's 12 seconds to go. He gets a takedown. Dobson's landing some shots. And Chukwi looks a little bit lost here on the ground. This might be something for Dobson later in the fight. He doesn't look to be hunting for that underhook. He might have just accepted that he was there at that point. I don't know who won that round. I have no fucking idea. That was an interesting one. That was an interesting round. That was a really, really good round. I'll be back in 1 sec. And we're off. Round 2 has started. 4:53 to go in round 2. Inside leg kick lands by Dobson. I think that Nchikwi has slowed down a little bit, actually. And, it's very telling for Dobson because Nchikwi didn't look that great on the ground. Little left hand landed by Nchikwi. And again with a low kick. Nice left kick by Dobson. Dobson's trying to be light on that front foot, which is great. Little right hand lands by Dobson, and Nchikwi's definitely slowed down. He's definitely slowed down. Nice little jab lands by Nchikwi. 4 minutes and 12 seconds to go. Dobson's he's doing a good job of taking and also checking these kicks, but he's light on his front foot now, and he's able to get his leg up and partially check them. But he'd definitely be feeling them. They exchange a couple of flurries there. No one lands anything flush. Oh, nice little leg kick landed by Nchikwi, but 2 left hands landed by Dobson and a big right hand over the top by Nchikwi does not find a home. 3:37 to go in the second round. Nice right low kick landed by Nchikwi, partially checked by Dobson. Dobson answers with one of his own. No, nice right low kick. Oh, they both land right low kicks. These guys are going to be sore tomorrow, man. I'm telling you. They're going to be so sore. The other thing you got to understand, see these kicks, right? Even though he's partially checking it, but they're going to the calf from Nchikwi. So when 1-2 landed by Dobson, partially taken on the gloves, but he's definitely got the faster hands, does Dobson. Yeah, I'd like to see him come in, and he did it again. He's a clever boy, this Dobson. I think he's got potential moving forward, Dobson. But there's nothing there on the calf. Do you know what I mean? So you don't even have to land them hard. Like sometimes it looks like they're not landing like big on the calf, but there's nothing there. It's just your fibula and a little bit of muscle, and that's it. So both of these guys wrestling up against the cage. No one really got the better part of it. But I see Dobson, anytime he's inside, he's definitely got the faster hands. I don't know if he's respecting the power too much of Nchikwi. You can't judge that because you're not the one in there getting hit. 2 minutes and 14 seconds to go. Nchikwi definitely looks like he hits hard. He's faster though, is Dobson. He's faster. He's more fluid in his movement. I don't know how much the leg kicks have taken out of him, and he's not able to exploit that speed necessarily. Because he goes looking for a calf kick, lands a switch jab, does Nchikwi. Nchikwi. I can't say the name properly. My apologies, my friend. Nice. Again, lands a calf kick, does Nchikwi, but it's checked. It is checked by Dobson, but both of those guys would feel that kick. Again, and Chikwi goes looking for the calf kick, but gets hit by a flurry from Dobson. Both guys are standing outside of the periphery of each other's range, and I think both of them respect each other's skills. Dobson does get hit a little bit when he comes inside like this. Boom, yes, with a counter, but he's the faster guy with the hands for sure. But he must feel Nchukwi's power when he does counter. Again with a low kick from Nchukwi. Both guys exchange. He catches the kick of Dobson, but nothing really comes off that. Dobson's doing a good job of feinting and pushing Nchukwi back into peripheries of the octagon. Nchukwi circles back in, so they're both now in the center of the octagon. Goes looking for the low kick again, but Dobson does a good job of getting out of the way. Then Dobson goes looking for a takedown of his own now. Underhooks by Nchukwi. There's 7 seconds to go. 3, 2, 1, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is a wrap. That's the round. Both guys are laughing. I don't know what happened there. Ofon says, yeah. Nah, for sure, Ofon. The thing with the conservative girl and the strippers, for sure. Ofon says, how surprised were you about Whittaker versus DDP? I thought Whittaker was going to demolish him. He'll be back, though. I picked Rob to win that fight, and I thought that Rob would smash him. Like I said before, if Rob wasn't injured or wasn't sick that you don't know about or something like this, and DDP is that good that he did that, then he's that fucking good. You know what I mean? Like I could never have picked him though on past performances, like on as far as like Brunson and Till, like that it didn't look like he was going to beat Rob to me. You know, that's what I say. Let me keep going. Ofon says, at Beetlejuice, aren't you in MMA Guru's chat? Your name looks super familiar. Yeah, MMA Guru is a champion, man. Let me just go down a little bit. So sorry if I missed some of it. Oh, we're off, guys. 3rd round. So I don't know. Again, I don't know who's winning the fight. I'm just calling the fight. I feel like Dobson's winning. Do you know what I mean? I feel like Dobson's winning, but I'm not the one scoring it, and I'm just calling the fight, you know? So I'm not there. I'm also not live, and I don't have volume, so I can't hear the shots either. This is things that when people are watching fights on TV and they don't understand that, like sometimes you're in there and the shots are different. Like one guy, you can hear the shots, you can see the person's reactions. These are different things, you know, that I can't see them from here. You know, so I don't know. To me, Dobson looks like he's a little bit more fluid and a little bit quicker, and he's getting to the punches earlier. But neither one of them is doing a huge amount of damage with the shots. And Chikwi's landing the leg kicks a little bit more. Oh, Dobson gets a takedown, and Chikwi's not going to get up. I don't think so. I don't think he's going to get up. He's doing a good job of tying up the hand when Nchukwi goes to post. And Chikwi just doesn't seem to have the fluidity. He's holding to avoid the ground and pound, and that's just going to not let you get up. That's what a lot of people don't understand. You're stopping the ground and pound, yes, but it's extremely tiring, the isometric contraction on your arms. And then in that you're giving the underhook on the far side, and Dobson just has to control that leg like a Turk ride, and he can move his knee to the right, and he's going to pin you every time. And so you're not going to be able to get up from this position. You're better off, much better off, if you're in Nchukwi looking for that left underhook from the beginning. He's not going to get up. And if he does get up, he's going to be very tired. That's his look. It's good that he's putting the leg shield up. This is a good beginning. This is very important from Nchukwi, but he's not going to get up. And like this, like let's say you give a round a piece at least. Like I don't see either one of them 100% winning both rounds. Like maybe one of them did. I don't know. But like this is definitely winning this round is Dobson. And their big mistake there, he posted on his elbow up against the cage, did Nchikwi. And when he did that, Dobson just got him in the wrist right or Dagestani handcuff, whichever one you want to call it, and he's back flat on his back. So no, I don't see him getting up, and I don't see him winning this fight. I don't see Dobson finishing him either. But yeah. And Dobson's just going to stay here because Nchikwi has no. Oh no, he's not. The problem is he doesn't have a good understanding. I don't think from watching this fight. Like I don't think he has a good understanding of the use of the left underhook. Which is what he needs to be getting and needs to be on his side. And I don't think he has a proper understanding of this. And this is what the problem. Like these guys, are obviously physically strong, physically tough guys, and you get to a certain level of jiu-jitsu and you can get it. You could probably roll around and survive quite easily with a lot of black belts just on the physicality and just basic knowledge alone. But it's when you get pushed into a certain position in the ground and you're not familiar with that position, or you don't have a good understanding of the position. Now he's in closed guard. Now he's closed his guard on Dobson, and Dobson can stay here for the rest of the fight. There's a minute to go, and now the guard's open. He's trying to push off Dobson, but he's not. Dobson has to hold him down. If he can hold him down for 53 seconds, he's definitely going to win this fight. Because like I said, even if you gave one of the rounds to Nchukwi, for sure Dobson has won now 2 rounds. I don't know which round you would have given to Nchukwi. They were relatively close prior to this. 35 seconds to go. Dobson's content to stay in closed guard, and Nchukwi's holding him in closed guard. So this is good. You're basically pinning yourself in this position if you're Nchukwi. So it's good for Dobson. That's 10 seconds to go. He's up to his feet. He's Nchukwi. They scrambled. Nothing's going to happen. There's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a wrap. Heath Perry says, sorry if I missed some of your comments, guys. I just went to the other ones. Hey, Fab, good to see you. Melon again, mate. What do you think of managers taking a percentage of fighters' bonuses? Like, people have to understand as well, like the managers have to make money, and they have to make money off a percentage of the fighters. It's an interesting question because a lot of the times you don't even say, for example, is 5% too much? Is 10% too much? Is 20% too much? Is 50% too much? I don't know what each person is doing for that role. And don't forget, when the fighter signs up and gets $8,000, right, for a fight, loses, and now he made $8,000, say the manager takes 10%, the manager took $800. The manager should have done much more work than $800 worth of work. So when the fighters win, the managers have to win too, because everyone has to get paid at the end of the day. And there just doesn't seem to be, there's just not that much money anyways going around for everyone, in this sport. So there's another thing, if anyone follows Immortal Technique, if anyone knows who Immortal Technique is, he spoke about it, and he spoke about it really, really well once. He was talking about managers in the music industry, and people go, oh, some managers are taking 50%, is ripping the guys off, and some managers are taking 10% or whatever. The problem is, it's like, what is that manager doing for that money? Because in fairness, if a manager, these are not even my words, Immortal Technique, Felipe Coronel said this, not me. But I agree 100%. If you came along, right, you're a kid that's 18 years old, just finished high school, you wrestled in high school, whatever, and you move to wherever. You stay in the manager's house. The manager feeds you. The manager cooks for you, pays for your training, pays for your travel, goes with, you gets you on regional cards, and you're winning, I don't know, you're winning $500 a fight, and what's he taking? $50, you know what I mean? And so the agreement between you and him is that he he takes 50%, and then people are going to go, oh, 50% is a ripoff and blah, 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 blah. But this is a different story. Now, you go somewhere to, say, ATT or wherever, and they charge 5%. But the guys that are going to ATT, for the most part, are guys that are already made. So, for example, make this up. Say you're Buchecha and you go there. Buchecha's already gone there as a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu world champion, big name, blah, blah, blah. My mum could get him on cards. So they're charging right. 5% is good, So it just depends. It depends who you are and how you fight. How good you were when the person picked you up, what the person did for you. It's not as simple as, just no, they shouldn't take this, or no, they shouldn't take that, or it just depends what each person does for that money. You know what I mean? If you're just holding pads for someone, for example, as a coach, if you're just holding pads, you're the guy who just comes in, holds pads twice a week or whatever. Should you take a percentage of the person? No, I don't think so. I think you should get paid an hourly rate. If the person that is running the show for the person, then that's a different story again. You don't know what each person does. It's a real tricky one, that question. And yeah, you got to remember everyone has to get paid, and you got to remember this. You can have grabbed a kid, right, from he was nowhere, not completely unknown, right? You put in 5 years on this kid, 3 years, whatever, and he signs to the UFC. You get him through, he takes losses, he takes wins, and then all of a sudden he starts winning. He can leave you at any stage and you don't get paid a fucking thing, So you invested in this person, music industry, same or whatever. You invested in this person and they can leave at any stage. So yeah, you have to get paid when you can get paid. Otherwise, it doesn't work for you, and everyone needs to get paid. Not like everyone talks about the fighters, but everyone has to get paid in the peripheries of that. You see a lot of you see fighters that end up broke at the end of their career, but you see heaps of coaches, dude. Heaps of fucking coaches. Heaps of coaches end up broke at the end of their careers. And it's because of stuff like that. At the end of the day, you got to get paid. Everyone has to get paid. Ophon says, I always find it hard to notice damage on darker fighters. Only times I can remember is Izzy versus Gastelum, Marvin Eastman, and John Jones versus Gus One. That's a thing as well, though. Like you see dudes get kicked in the legs, and if they're white, there's big, massive welts on them. With the black guys, it's much harder to see it on them, and sometimes like kind of like darker guys, like they're not black, but they're not white, like kind of my color. The welts look really dark red, and it might be the same kick on 3 different guys, but that affects the judges as well because you can't look past that. I've cornered dudes that get kicked to the body and they were not white, but they're probably my color, the guys, and the welts looked horrific, but it wasn't even that bad. The person just bruised really dark, the way they bruised. Ophon says, so many exciting prospects in the UFC at the moment. Yes, sir. Oliver Edmond says, yes, Beetlejuice, I'm Fab and Whole Foods a while back. Was all right. Yeah, Ophon said, yeah, look, Ophon, I didn't think that it's funny, because see, Vettori versus Duplessis might be different again, like just the way they fight. Vettori might just put his chin down, be able to take the shots and just get him to the ground, put him on his back and do it. He might be able to do that. Ophon, sorry, I'm going to skip a few. Ophon says, what does suck is when a manager is managing 2 or more fighters and he has a conflict of interest and doesn't want them to fight each other. Man, doesn't want them to fight each other is one thing, and they also fight each other is another. That people don't, they're both. Like, say, for example, I've got 2 guys. It's actually, to me, it's more transparent. If I have 2 guys and I don't want them to fight each other, this is one thing, right? And then we can see about what we're going to do and da-da-da-da, and we're going to talk about it. This is one thing. But when they fight each other and you're managing both fighters, that's weird to me. That's weird, and I don't believe you can do the same work for both guys, because one of the guys more than likely is going to be the favorite. One of those guys is going to get more of your attention, and one of those guys you're going to prefer wins. So this is just how it is, So that's a tough one. But it's going to happen if you have a big stable of fighters and you have fighters from all different teams that you're managing. It's a tough one. Ofon says, yeah, one of the most common things I hear is to start a gym, but I hear they aren't even profitable, more of a place of recruitment and springboarding. You mean if you're a coach or you're a fighter, they're also different skill sets, man. They're different skill sets. You could be a great fighter, but it doesn't mean you can run a gym. It doesn't mean you're going to, and you might have a gym. It doesn't mean you have a profitable gym. And you have to understand what kind of gym you want to run as well, because fight gyms and by their nature are not profitable. You know what I mean? They're not profitable. So you have to have a commercial gym. The biggest thing that I would say is make sure that you have the right people around you if you're a fighter. You know what I mean? Like that's a big one. Yeah, it's a tough one, man, especially in the coaches as well. I see a lot of coaches, man, they end up broke, and that's not good coaches, man. There's a lot of good coaches. Sometimes people go, well, who do you train with? Who does that go? Man, there's heaps of good coaches you've never even heard of. There's heaps of good coaches. Never even heard of them, but guys are not getting paid, man. So I'm not, it's a tough one. Also, remember, this is not a sport that, like, say if you're a coach, you sign a 3-year deal with Real Madrid, they got to pay you and the players have to go to you. No, the money, the player holds it, the fighter holds it. And so he can just fire you whenever or just stop paying you, just not fucking pay you, you know what I mean? Or whatever. So it's tough, man. It's a tough one. Sorry, I'm just going to skip a few people. Yeah, when Jan fought Reyes, those massive body kicks showed instantly. Yeah, man, and I'm sure they were big. I'm sure they hurt, but you can tell like that Jan is going to bruise easy, and you're going to see it. Ofon says, "Yep, you're at the fighter's moral mercy." Yeah, man, like you hear it all the time. Fighters don't pay their coaches and fucking don't pay their managers, or they don't pay this, and you hear managers rip fighters off and coaches rip fighters. All this stuff. This happens all the fucking time. This is not new, and there's not a lot of money really to really have those kind of fallouts. It's not really worth it. The other problem is this as well. Like, say for example, a coach says to you or a manager says to you, this is what the fee is, and you think that fee is too high, and then turn around and go, well, he's charging me this much, it's too high. But like that's the cost, man. Like that's if I want a landscaper in here and that landscaper is making 250 grand a year, I'm doing landscaping in like all other homes and a whole bunch of it. And he wants to charge me arbitrary figure, $30,000. And there's a kid that just got his trade and he's going to charge me 10 grand. The guy that's charging me 30, he's not ripping me off. He doesn't need my business. And it depends on who's coaching you, man. If the guy can make more money somewhere else, why am I like, say for example, I'll even use my example. It's not financially, if I'm going to coach how I like to coach is like 1 or 2 guys, which I have no problem doing. Like, it's not the money. I can make more money outside of doing that. Do you know what I mean? Like with my profession and my background. So the money thing, yeah, I want to get paid, but I'm not going to do it for free either. Do you get what I mean? And it's a dirty business, man. As soon as you put money in it. Ofon says, are coaches and managers ever the same person? Kind of wondering what problems can arise. Yeah, a lot of times the coaches are the managers. A lot of the times. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, man. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. Again, it goes back to what I was saying. These 2 ladies are about to fight. I'm not super familiar with the girls, to be honest with you. Sorry, it's not I don't hate women. I'm married to a woman and I have two daughters. I just don't follow the fights a lot of the women's, and I'm just getting back into it. So Viana versus Lucindo. Lucindo in the yellow, both girls in the orthodox stance. Oh, big left hand landed by Lucindo. Right leg kick landed by Viana. Again, both girls on the peripheries of their range, not really within punching distance and just outside kicking distance, it would seem. Lucindo is doing a good job of bouncing in and out. Again with a low kick by Lucindo. Landed on the calf that time. There's only so many calf kicks you can take. That's the reality, though. Oh, left kick to the body. And again, Viana with a big combination gets a double underhooks. Looking to get this fight to the ground. Man, Lucindo's doing a good job of defending. She had deep double underhooks. Stepped inside. Oh, nice takedown by Viana. Good for you, Viana. Closed guard now of Lucindo. Okay. 3 minutes and 29 seconds to go in round one. Closed guard by Lucindo. This doesn't help. You know, the closed guard, if you're gonna be in closed guard, my opinion would be you'd want to angle off, hit some elbows, put your feet on the hips, and get back up. You know, unless you're going to be actively hunting submissions, but you have to open your guard. You know, which a guard is open, but the guard is not on the hips or anywhere. So she's doing a good job, is Viana, of pressuring forward, and that kind of keeps Lucindo pinned, unless Lucindo can get her feet on the hips and start to move her own head backwards. Guard, see here where the guard is open, like Lucindo's guard's open. It's not closed, but it's not, the feet aren't on the hips. And so the feet aren't actually doing anything. And if the feet aren't doing anything, then the knees and the hips aren't doing anything to gain you space or movement. So you have to have your feet working for you. And here it's kind of just pinning you to the ground in a closed guard, which is not good look for the judges. Although Viana's not doing the damage per se, but it's not going to look good for the judges. Like, she's going to win this round like this. There's 2 minutes and 11 seconds to go in the closed guard. They're standing up as good as well. If you're going to wait for that, if you're going to say, well, I'm going to hold the person down until the ref stands us up, that's good. But man, you've been on your back in that round and it doesn't look good. Both girls standing up. 1 minute 46 seconds to go. Oh, spinning back kick by Lucindo. Be interesting to see if Viana can get another takedown here. Lucindo's coming forward, throws a spinning back fist. Again, Viana lifts her leg up. Double underhooks now by Lucindo. Viana goes looking for a headlock. Lets it go. Lucindo gets a takedown. Now the girls trade takedowns. Let's see what happens here. Lucindo's kind of, she can turn this into a smash pass if she likes. Again, the way that Viana is holding those legs of Lucindo in MMA, it's not really as effective because you're pinning yourself to the ground. You're not really using your legs to better your position. So Lucindo can just stay there. And in this scenario, she's halfway to the back as well. So the refs shouldn't, if the ref knows what they're doing, should not stand them up. Because in this situation, the guard's almost passed. She can land some hammer fists. Yeah, land some hammer fists to Lucindo on the ear, right there on the ear of Viana. Just land them. Just hit her over and over a few times. It doesn't have to be super hard. This is not good position for Viana at all. It's a good spot for Lucindo to land some shots here. She's got to be very careful, Viana, here, because Lucindo's in a this is a good position for her. This is basically a smash pass kind of situation. Oh, big shots landing by Lucindo. Big shots. 2 seconds to go. I think she definitely won that round. She would have been the one that did the most damage. Heath Perry says, thoughts on Jones versus Miocic? I think it's a tough one for Stipe, but wouldn't shock me if he wins. I have to say I agree with you, Heath. Like, Miocic is very, very, very good, man. Like, very good. But he's older, man. He's older. They're both older guys now. That's what's crazy. John Jones is older as well, but they're both older guys. And Miocic has had his lights put out a few times, and I think he's a smaller guy of the two, like just John Jones is such a long, big guy. He's got tidy boxing, does Miocic, but I just think that Jones has too many tools. Miocic does have a lot of tools as well. But I don't see Miocic being able to take John Jones down. I don't see him being able to hold him down. And I think the range is going to be a bit of a problem as well. Like, Jones has so many weapons at range. It's not just the reach. It's his ability to play with that range with his kicks, and he's got such long legs. He's got long arms, and he's able to use them. Then he's also got legitimate submission threats. John Jones does. Okay, we're off again, round 2. Lucindo definitely looks... Oh, another body kick landed. Spinning back kick by Lucindo. And let's see if Lucindo can get this fight to the ground. Oh, she wobbles up with a left hook. Good little combination. She definitely wobbled Viana with a left hook. Goes looking for a spinning back kick. I mean a spinning fist, sorry. Nice. That was really nice little left hook by Lucindo. I wonder why she didn't try and capitalize on it. Again, these are things that, like, maybe you see it like this, maybe I saw it like that, and Lucindo was in there and she didn't think she landed it as hard as she did or as well as she did, or maybe Viana more stumbled than was actually hit. But I don't like Viana's reactions when the exchanges occur. Lucindo definitely looks like she gets a better shots off. I like these spinning kicks from Lucindo. I started in Taekwondo as a little kid, so I always appreciate like the spinning kicks and that fighters throw, whether it's Taekwondo or karate or whatnot. Oh, nice leg kick landed by Viana, but eats a big left hand by Lucindo for her troubles. There's 3 minutes and 26 seconds to go. Both girls again on the peripheries. But even though it's funny, because even though Lucindo's a shorter one, she like fights more like at range, like she's got the reach. Now she gets a takedown again. Then once again, she's landed in half guard and she's got the shoulder pressure. No, she's got the left underhook on the knee side, which is a great position to have as well. It's a very, very good position, that one. It's underutilized, I think. This shows that Lucindo's got a very good understanding on the ground. She knows what she's doing. So she's keeping Viana flat on her back. There's 2 minutes and 43 seconds to go. She's got, I think she might have both of the underhooks. I can't really tell from this position, but she's keeping her flat on her back. And Viana's not really bumping her hips and trying to scramble and frame to get her arms free. So from this position, again, they're not going to stand her up, I don't think, from half guard. And yeah, Lucindo has a position. She's got a much better position. She's got both double underhooks. I see her pressuring forward, and she's probably going to, if this lockdown, if she loses the lockdown, if Viana loses the lockdown, Lucindo's going to be able to pass, and she's going to have a very, very good position there. But even if she doesn't, it's hard because all Viana's doing is locking down, using isometric contraction to hold Lucindo in that position, but she hasn't got her arms in play because Lucindo has a double underhooks. So Lucindo can stay there all day. Now she's moving all the way forward, and I think she's going to pass here. She will pass. As soon as this, if she can use her left foot to free herself, because you can see her knee is already past the thigh. So that's very, very dangerous for her. Oh, it's going to be a head arm choke. She's not going to defend this from Lucindo, I don't think. Yeah, there you go. Done. Head arm choke by Lucindo. Well done, Lucindo. Let's see what we have here. Yeah, so that's what I think with the Miocic and Jones fight. I think that they're both a little bit older. I think that Miocic has had a few, like, he's been put out and Jones hasn't. And Jones is, I mean, now Jones just fought Ghani. He's more active as well. So yeah, I think that I do think that Jones is probably going to get it done. But Miocic is a guy that I wouldn't be surprised if he won it. Sorry, I'm going to skip a few people. Hadrian ATF says, "Hey there, Fab. Hello from Belgium. Hello, sir. How are you?" Okay, I'm just going to skip forward. No, that wasn't a bad fight, Oliver. That wasn't a bad fight for the girls. The girls did really well in that fight. Ofon says, Oliver Ekman, unfortunately, it's what we're all thinking. I see it as an intermission most of the time. Ofon page Michael says, almost completely assured. Ofon says, never even seen Jones wobbled, to be honest. No, I have to say, this is a problem, right? I am going to say, I'm a big fan of watching him fight, right? But you cannot ignore the fact that the dude has tested positive over and over again. Like the whole thing with the minute bit of steroids that he took. And come on, man. Like this is the problem for me. The problem is if you're just going to say, let them all fight, let them all take whatever. All right, then we'll just go with that. When you start with the picograms and that kind of bullshit, like it's just silly, you know what I mean? And you can't ignore that. Yeah, he's tested positive, dude. He's tested positive to the point they pulled him off a show, with the star power that he had. So I don't even know. They must have caught him with the vials in his hands in a public place or something. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. So there's been so much drug controversy surrounding that you like. I don't even understand that. It's like ignored. So that's a problem. Bodybuilding News says him and DC both had such high estrogen ratio levels, they would have been disqualified from a natural bodybuilding contest. I called DC out on Instagram. He said it's because he's old. Laugh out loud. Yeah, man, like when you see people, right, I'm not going to name people, but when you see people, right, that are big stars, that end up being big stars with the UFC, and they're performing at an age where like your testosterone level is decreasing, right? And you're not beating dads at the local fucking PCYC blue belt jiu-jitsu contest. You're beating monsters, dude, so you got to call that for what it is. I don't give a fuck. Like, do it if you want. But it goes back to that thing that I think it was Ofon or one of the boys just said recently. It's like all her friends are strippers, dude. And she tells you, nah, I just go there and I just serve drinks and I just talk to the patrons. If you want to believe that, that's on you. I'm not judging the girl. She can do whatever the fuck she wants. They can all be strippers. I don't care. I'm not judging anyone on that. That's fine. You do whatever you want to do. If you want to believe that, that's on you. That's completely fucking on you. I just can't watch the shit and believe. You can't ask me to believe the bullshit that's on there because I know what it is. I know how flimsy the testing is at the best of times. I know that you can just not test 3 times in a year and you get a 6-month suspension. I know that they can come and test me now and my wife can say, Fab's not here. Fab's in the Swiss Alps. And all I get is a black mark against my name. I know that I can take testosterone that clears my system if I'm microdosing 24 to 48 hours. I know that I can do this. So I could conceivably do the test if I stay off it from microdosing in a week and I'll be okay. So I can't sit there and go, oh no, they're fucking all clean. That seems like a really good thing. Like it's not. I can't. I'm not stupid. So I can't be a part of it. Now, if I watch a fight and I know what it is and like, so man, there's some guys, right, that it's fucking stupid to pretend that the dude's not on it. Like, I can't even fucking hell, man. It's like, yeah. It's like, doesn't matter. Ophon says, laugh out loud. I remember I moved to New Mexico, Nevada, or something from California. Who are we talking about? Sorry, Ophon. Fofo says, dude, ESPN Plus stream is down for tons of people right now. Embarrassing. I've missed the whole main card so far. Okay. All right. Says Fofo. Well, I'll try and keep you up to date with what's happening, mate. My card is working. Hadrian ATF says, statistically, Jones has one of the best chins in the UFC. 100%. He's like a fucking monster, dude. The shots that he's taken. I've met John Jones several times. Like, I've been there with him. Not like fucking best friends with him or nothing. Just like, I've just been with him and that. Dude's fucking like a terrifying human being. Dude. He's a fucking huge guy. Like, massive hands, big fucking head, tall, like a big man. Very broad, very big man. Like, terrifying dude, man. You can see that if he grabs you, he's fucking going to kill you. Ophon says, the move of that event when Jones tested positive for picograms in a swimming pool of water. Yeah, that's just fucking dumb, dude. That's like, my wife, right, is Chinese-Russian, right? My wife's Chinese-Russian, but she looks very Central Asian. There's people that followed the podcast before, you would have seen my kids, and they're very, very like Central Asian. If I walked into my house now, right, and there was a Central Asian looking dude downstairs, right, and she says, oh, this is my cousin from fucking Mongolia, Inner Mongolia, China, whatever, and he looks like her, and he looks Central Asian, Eurasian. All right, okay, cool. If I walk downstairs and there's a fucking Swedish guy looking fucking blonde hair, blue-eyed guy, or an African guy, and she goes, this is my cousin, and I fucking believe that. It's not on her anymore. This is on me. I'm a fucking idiot. Like, no. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's a thing. So with the picograms things, if they say it and you choose to believe that shit and you watch it and you go, no, it's clean because USADA is fucking they test and you believe that, that's on you. That's not on them. That's fucking they got a business to run. They did their part. I'm not even against them. I'm not even bagging the UFC. That's the same thing with fighter pay. People go like, I'm not bagging anyone here on this, but when people go, should the fighters get paid more? Fucking nurses should get paid more if we're going to talk about it. But yeah, man, I'd love for the fighters to get paid more. But the fighters themselves, like the other day, it was Cheeto Vera was talking about this. And I'm not bagging him, man. This is his reality, and so it's true. But when you have fighters publicly come out and go, hey, man, I was fighting for $400 in Venezuela. So 8,000 a show and 8,000 a win. That's big money to me. That's 16,000. They're paying us good. I only heard a snippet of it, so I don't know exactly what we're saying. But when you have fighters out there saying, no, like, I think the UFC pays us well or whatever, I'm not gonna say they should get paid more. Do you know what I mean? I'm not gonna say fucking they should get paid more if fighters themselves are cool with it. It's on them, And to be fair, dude, some of these guys, not most of these guys, their skills are not transferable. So if some of these guys are making $150,000 to $200,000 US a year, and you don't have to be like the best fighter. You could be a top 15, top 20 guy. If you get a couple of bonuses and you win a few fights, you'll get a couple of $100,000 in that year. And so to me, like, a lot of those skills are not transferable. These people are not going to go out and do fucking open heart surgery or anything. You're fighting guys in your undies. So that there's a case to be made for that. Now, if you ask me, should they be paid more? Yes, fuck them. Pay them more. Yes. But I'm not going to sit there and picket for it either. Ophon says, personally, I like Jones, but I try to see things objectively. I actually like Jones too. It is true. I like him. I'm actually a fucking fan because, especially after he just embraced the fucking supervillains kind of thing, I think, but I can't, like I said, I can't be like, if you say to me, she's a stripper, I don't think anything bad of her. Good for her. She's a stripper, whatever. Don't try and justify it to me. Don't try and tell me you're empowering women or some stupid fucking shit like that. You're a stripper and you enjoy being a stripper and you get paid for it. That's good. Go. Do your thing. Um, Michael Kavitia says, and his brothers are even bigger, also popped for peds. Laugh out loud. That's what I mean. That's what I'm saying to you. That's a thing that I'll go back. We were saying, like, you can't be like, all my friends do it, but I don't. Come on, man. I'm going to miss a few people here. Ophon says, I understand why they're forced to lie, but we don't have to believe it. Man, I don't think that you even have to fucking, like, it's just what it is. Like, you're running a business and you're trying to do what you're trying to do for your business, and you can I just watch the fights for what they are. You know what I mean? I'm not dumb. That's all. Adrian says, what do you think about Rob at 205? Good. I think Rob will be faster than a lot of people at 205. I think I think 205 he'll be faster than a lot of guys, and he'll catch a lot of people out like that. It just depends who you fight too, dude. You know what I mean? It just depends who you fucking fight. But he's a big guy himself. Like I don't know, man. I don't know, because I haven't dealt with him for many years, so I don't know, but I know that going from middleweight to light heavyweight, that style of fighting, at the very least, he's going to be fucking a fair few frames ahead of everyone else, speed wise, for sure. Ophon says, that being said, I don't give people crap for failing tests anymore, because it seems the vast majority don't get caught. Not only do they not get caught, dude, but like, there's not the same consequences for people to get caught. And if you look who gets caught, I think they've caught 120 fighters, right, or something like this. You probably wouldn't even know who 80 of them are. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're just guys that you don't even know who they are. Ophon says, how shitty would that be if UFC partnered with ChatGPT in the future and they started rendering fights that looked realistic enough for us not to tell the difference? That will probably happen. That would probably happen. Beetlejuice says, your take on things are honest and hilarious. Where did you get your hoodie from? My wife gave this to me. I don't know. Probably from Target. I don't know. I don't imagine my wife would have spent much more money than Target hoodies for me. Yesterday, and if you're listening to this, understand how much you hurt me. Yesterday, she said that I embarrass her with the clothes that I wear. That's what she said to me. Ophon says, I'd love to see Rob versus Anthony Smith. It'd be an interesting fight. Because Anthony Smith used to be at middleweight, right? And I remember being there a few times. Where was it? It might have been in Vegas or Kansas City. I'm not sure. Anthony Smith fought at middleweight. And I remember seeing him, and I remember thinking, how the fuck are you going to make middleweight? He was huge, man. He was fucking huge. And that was one of the guys that, coming up, when I was watching him, I was thinking, this guy looks good, especially at middleweight, he looked good. And I thought, man, Rob would fight anyone, but that was one guy that I was like, this would be a thing. Anthony Smith would be a tough fight. He's a big boy. Joseph says, in regards to fighter pay, I think the UFC did a great job isolating the fighters and the job insecurity. It will take a monumental situation to change the status quo. Very well put, Joseph. Are you a solicitor of some description or something like that? Because that is 100% spot on. And also, you got to understand another thing, and I'm not criticizing the UFC. There's and it happens naturally. There's an outsource, to Dagestan, to Georgia, to Azerbaijan, to Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Brazil, Ecuador. There'll be Venezuela. There's a lot of countries where if a dude makes $80,000 American in that year, that's big money. They're going to take that. If say for coming from Sydney, dude, $200,000 a year in Sydney it's not huge money, man. It's not huge money because it costs a lot to live here. If you have decent house, whatever, mortgage it, the rest of it. It's not that much money. Whereas you make $200,000 a year and you live in Dagestan, or you live in Georgia, or you live in Uzbekistan. This is big money, man. This is big money. So you're always going to get fighters, and real good, high quality fighters, for that money anyways. This is not new. This is not thing. Beetlejuice says, ha ha ha, what were you wearing? Oh man, I just have my tracksuit pants and hoodie in winter. That's what I always wear. And then in summer, I always just wear a t-shirt and shorts. And she said that I should make more of an effort to dress, and to dress properly. And sometimes if I don't have any meetings or anything, I don't shave. But I'm not like my hair doesn't grow evenly and all of that. I'm kind of patchy. And she says that embarrasses her as well. Ophon says, yeah, Santos used to even be a welterweight and moved up 2 classes, I think. He's another dude. I saw him in Vegas. I remember him cutting weight, and I said hello to him and that, and he looked fucked to make middleweight. He looked fucked. Look at Khalil Roundtree. He looks fucking jacked. Another thing I was going to say to you with the USADA testing, this is something for you guys to know. USADA doesn't test you here in Australia anyways. ASADA tests you under auspice of USADA. So if you're in Thailand, right? If you're in Thailand or you're in fucking somewhere, wherever, Cuba, wherever, Venezuela, where people earning fuck all, $150 a month, right? And their governing agency comes and tests you under an auspice of USADA, So like the power struggle there is massive, dude, because they're coming to see you. They're earning fucking nothing, You just work that out for yourself, right? Just work it out. Oliver Ekman says, I don't know why your wife would be embarrassed by you wearing nice suits and tuxedos. And that's all I wear. I don't believe that Daukus is going to get this done. I believe that Roundtree is going to... They're virtually identical, except that Roundtree's a couple of inches shorter, but I just think he has too much power and he hits like a fucking truck. Thanks, Coach. I just went to the Coach Fab Institute of Fight Metrics. Nice, Joseph. Nice. Ophon says, McGregor's suit from the Mayweather post-fight press conference. That's what I should wear. Oliver Ekman says, I fucking love Khalil Roundtree. Thank you, Oliver Ekman. I love you too. He says, I love Fabi there as well. Joseph says, hey, my wife told me I dress like a middle-aged skateboarder who didn't make it. Laugh out loud. That is horrible, man. That is horrible that she says it. Ophon says, laugh out loud. Just pay them $300 and have a beer with them. Dude, honestly, just, you think about that when you see this, like it's not hard, dude. It's not, it's not a conspiracy theory. You can just see this. This is not that hard. Hadrian says, holy shit, Beetlejuice is still there. I remember him being mentioned during the early podcast years ago. Yeah, Beetlejuice has been around since the beginning, mate, since the beginning. Khalil Roundtree looks like a fucking superhero. He looks like a superhero. And we're off. Khalil in the southpaw stance. Daukus in orthodox. Khalil, again, light on his foot in a more classical Muay Thai stance. They're both pouring for control of the initial jab. Oh, Daukus with a flurry. Daukus used to be a heavyweight. I think that's only going to help Roundtree, because I think Roundtree is going to be the quicker one of the two, and he hits hard enough to take advantage of that. So as soon as this fight settles a little bit, I see Roundtree landing up the mother of all shots. Honestly, I do. Nice little check hook as Daukus came in. Now, Daukus is used to getting hit off bigger guys, but it's not like he was a world beater at that division either. You know what I mean? Like, so he got stopped in that division as well. So I don't know. I think that Roundtree is just going to get it done. Roundtree's got to get his foot outside of the lead foot of Daukus. Daukus is getting off first. I don't know if Roundtree hit him then, or Daukus stumbled. I'm not sure. But Daukus is getting off first with the flurries. Nice. His punches are looking straight and crisp. Daukus's punches. He looks significantly bigger than Roundtree. Roundtree's ground game, I don't know how much it's evolved, but it wasn't the best before. They're having a stereosonic fight here up against the cage with Roundtree having the better head positioning. He's got the better head position, does Roundtree. There's 3 minutes and 17 seconds to go in this first round. Okay. Nice little clinch work there done by Roundtree. Nothing lands flush. Daukus with a nice 1-2 down the middle. Well done, Daukus. Silencing the doubters or doubter in me. They're both respecting each other's power here. Both standing outside of the peripheries of each other's range. Oh, nice right hand by Daukus. Comes in with a... Roundtree drops him with a mother of all left hands. Stop the fucking fight, ref. Jesus. He landed the mother of all left hands. Drops Daukus. I'd said he was going to land the mother of all left hands. I did say that. Please give me the credit for that. And then he starts landing like hammer fists and shit on him. And it was done. Like the ref should have stopped that one. I think, the way that I was watching that. I've seen Roundtree drop people before and stomp on him. But no, that was a big left hand. Look at this left hand straight down the middle. Boom, right hand. Again, check hook by Roundtree with a flurry from Daukus. And then the left hand goes straight down the middle. Looked like a sniper shot him. Here goes, boom, check hook. Hits him. And then here it comes. This left hand down the middle, right on the chin. He looked like he died. Herb Dean was right there. Lands one, doesn't get the hammer fist, but he's rolled. He's not defending himself. Herb Dean, in fairness, was in there quick. It's just that it looked brutal. Okay, let me see. Okay. Let me see what we got. Roundtree's a very big fellow, man. Like very muscular dude. He's at light heavyweight though, SG, he's good, man. He's really good at light heavyweight. Yeah, that was a big shot, man. That was such a big shot that he landed. It honestly looked like Daukus got sniped from a tree or something. Like it really, really hit him. Like that was a big shot. Man, shots like that are fuck. I feel there that you give people time to recover and that. I feel like when you get dropped like that, it was a big shot. Like it was such a big shot that he landed. Yeah. Heath Perry says, I've got a bone to pick with your Fab. Do you keep sauce in the fridge or pantry? Because, mate, I'm gobsmacked that most wombats leave it in the fridge. It depends. It depends, Heath Perry. If it's closed, right? If it's closed, I keep it in the pantry. When it's open, I keep it in the fridge. Where do you live, Heath Perry? Joseph says, what scares me every time I see a KO is the head snap back from hitting the mat. Yes. 100%. Like people don't get that as well. Like it's not just you getting hit and getting knocked out. It's like that shot here, like on the edge of the leverage that you get from hitting someone on the chin and the head snapping like this. That like he would have been out on the way down, and then maybe like just flash knockout. But fuck me, do you know what I mean? When you land like that, I don't think they should keep it going. Like you're landing like you fell backwards on. There's no break fall or anything. Your head's just smashing onto the ground and your neck jarring backwards. It's a big fall, That's why sometimes when people go, no, he's awake, it's good that he let it go. The way he landed there, he was like gone. Joseph says, what scares me every time I see it? Yeah. SG says, Fab, will you be attending at Adesanya vs Strickland live? No. I'm not. The days of me going to that, like I actually don't enjoy big crowds and drunk people yelling and all that shit. I'd rather just watch it from the comfort of my own home and just do the call here at home. You know, I enjoy that much more than going to the live events and all of that. I don't enjoy people screaming and carrying on and drunkenness, and get anxiety around crowds and having to park my car or catch a train in. Nah, not into it. Ophon says, I love MMA shows, but I don't like the fans. 100%, dude. You know, there's only so many fucking sleeve tats and Ed Hardy shirts I can deal with. So Ophon says, Joseph seeing Derek Lewis repeatedly hit Curtis Blades or Ngannou bludgeon Rosenstrick's temple after they were KO'd scared the hell out of me. Yeah, it's brutal, dude. It's fucking brutal. It's crazy. Joseph says, that's like a car accident. Yeah, man, people don't get that. Like that, what that guy would have taken to his brain there is massive. Just because he wasn't completely out like that, it doesn't matter. That brain would have shook in that head like so bad. So bad. People don't get that. They don't get that. Also, you got to understand, you know, sometimes you see a fighter takes a shot, and then they don't get knocked out. They still got their wits about them, but they're done. Like they kind of fall into the cage or they fall onto their back and they're kind of just like this, covering up, and they're taking shots. But you got hit hard enough that you can't defend yourself anymore. You know you're there, but you don't really know where you are. Those shots, that's concussion. That's damage to your brain. That's real. You know, you can't just let it keep going. One foot at the door says the first one all you see is white lights, and next one puts you out. Yeah, and sometimes you go like black and white, black and white, black and white, like this. You know, if it's ground and pound or something like that, it's not good for you. That guy though, he would have just probably woke up on the ground, you know, and then just rolled to his knees. But I don't think it would have been bad if they let that keep going. Ophon says, kind of like I used to love heavy metal, but hated the concerts. That's how I feel, you know. And I'm older now, man. I'm in my mid 40s almost, you know. Like I'm not interested, man. Oliver Ekman says, thank God Francis missed most of those. I watched live and was actually scared. Yeah, man. Some of those shots are brutal. 1 foot out the door says, does Colby Covington have fans? You know, like I like watching him fight. I like how he fights. He's very, very good. He's a hard guy to get behind, though. Ophon says, makes me wonder if they were on purpose or not. I'm just going to skip a few. Ophon says, Khalil Roundtree just looks like a military commander. Yes, that he does. Yeah, but you know, Oliver Ekman, you know, when you say once you know it's an act, you have a really good fighter with Colby. I agree with you. He's a fantastic fighter. But there's only so much, you know, when people say things are an act with people, you still have to have that in you to say certain things. I'm not even talking about Colby necessarily, but you still have to have it in you to say certain things or to do certain things, even if you're acting, you know. So I don't think that it's just you going, oh, it's just an act when you say and do certain things that are extremely divisive and offensive, you know, or it's not really an act. But I like, man, go do it. Do whatever you want to do. Original Sin says, what is the best skill to obtain if you're a short fighter in your weight class, Coach Fab? I think it's a tough question to ask, but I think you have to be able to deal with range massively if you're a short fighter. So your striking in general, I know this is going to be a very like kind of broad answer, but your striking has to be very, very good. Like your knowledge of striking, your ability to get in and out and understanding where you can do damage and where you can be comfortable is very, very important if you're a short fighter, because you can say wrestling, get them down on the ground, but if you can't bridge that gap, you're going to find it very difficult to take the person down. And then if you're short, the leverage in MMA is different as well, because the guy doesn't have to grapple with you. The guy just has to try and get back up. And if his head gets above yours, depending on how tall you are, he's going to get up. It's hard for tall fighters in certain positions to get their body to a position to get up. But once they have their head higher and they got their long levers, they'll get up. So it's very, very important for you to understand where you have to be safe and where you have to be in order for you to be able to wrestle or implement other parts of your game. This is what's tough for the shorter fighters. Let me see. So understanding your distance managing, I think, is very, very important if you're a short guy. And that's also because if you take people down and you can't hold them down, it's going to be very, very hard for you. You're going to get tired, especially because you have to be out of their range and then you have to be in their range. So understanding this and understanding where you're comfortable and how you're comfortable and what positions you're good at, these are very important. 1 foot out the door says it was a scumbag move for Colby to call the cops on Fabricio Werdum in Australia. Yeah, did he call the cops though, or was that just the rhetoric? You know what I mean, like the narrative? I don't know. Or did the hotel call the police? I don't know. Joseph says one thing that taught me about fighters in general after all these years is I try my best to separate the fighter inside and outside the cage, because at the end of the day, it's a business. I think you have to understand that as well. Like, that's why when I say to you, I just watch the fights. I don't really talk about what's going on outside and the rest of it and da-da-da. Because you also have to understand, man, some people, like even fighters that you like, are fuckwits. You know, some people that are successful in life in tennis, they're great tennis players, but they're fuckwits, or it's got nothing to do. Like, you have to divorce those two things, and you have to just look at the person for what they are. There's guys that are brilliant surgeons and they're fuckwits. Like, it's got the two things don't have to marry up. You know what I mean? That's something you have to understand, I think, when yeah. Okay. Ophon says, sorry, I skipped a few guys. Ophon says, how do you think Aljo versus O'Malley will go? I think the odds make sense. Aljo looks like he'll slaughter him. I think O'Malley's very dangerous with certain things, but I feel that I thought, me personally, right, I thought it was a close but clear fight for Peter Yan in the O'Malley fight. I think that O'Malley I think that Peter Yan taking you down and at times controlling you does not bode well when you're fighting a guy like a Sterling that's going to take you down if he can, and he's going to try and control you, and that's what he's going to do. Having said that, I do think that O'Malley has a lot of good answers to a lot of things. I don't know, short of O'Malley catching him, like standing up, like catching him, I don't necessarily think O'Malley is going to win that fight. I think that Sterling's a bit of a jumping bean as well. Like, he kicks and punches with a lot of with impunity, because he knows that if it goes to the ground, he's going to have the advantage. So I think that Aljo is going to win that fight. I don't think that O'Malley is going to beat him. I think that O'Malley does have he's a switch hitter and he hits hard. But I think Aljamain Sterling has too many tools, and I think that he's imposed his game on much better grapplers than O'Malley, and O'Malley's a good grappler. But I think that Aljamain Sterling has done Aljamain Sterling to better grapplers than O'Malley. If O'Malley can catch him coming in with something, with an uppercut, with a straight, if he can keep Sterling off him, then I think that he can. I think that he and his coaches are going to work on ways to neutralize the takedown and the jiu-jitsu of Sterling. And I think that they can do that to a certain degree. But I think it'll be one of those things that he'll look good in a loss. I think O'Malley will look good in a loss to Sterling. 808 says 100% Fab. It's kind of like being drunk and saying wild shit. Is it the alcohol or is it your inner thoughts coming out? Yeah, man. And there's different, like, when people are saying, like, to me, right? When people are saying like racist, xenophobic shit, you know, about certain people at certain times, especially with the current climate in certain countries, and you're saying shit like that, that's not an act. Do you get what I mean? That's not an act. You're saying stuff now that's way beyond it. It's way beyond fighting. It's way beyond thing. When you talk about people's families, when you do all that shit, and then there's other guys, man, that when I'm watching them, I legit think they're fucking crazy because, like, the way that they're talking, and a lot of them probably are crazy, dude. I don't know. One foot out the door says the Dagestani handcuffs changed the game. In fairness, dude, the wrist rides were around before, like, the big Dagestani explosion into the UFC. It's just that the guys that did it, in particular Khabib, he was so brutal at it, you know, and he was so dominant with the game in general. I'll tell you this, if you throw a boomerang in a hotel in Australia at someone, or in the US or any country where it's modern and normal, if you throw a boomerang at someone, the lobby's going to call the police. And you got to understand, I like Fabricio Werdum, you know, I like Fabricio Werdum. I've met him. He's a nice guy. He's a good guy, you know, but do you understand how fucking terrifying a guy like Fabricio Werdum would look if you're just like a hotel staff, you're in the lobby, minding your own business, and you see this monster of a man throw a boomerang at a guy that, you know, looks a bit bigger than average size. You would call the police. You don't know if you're going to be fucking next. You don't know what's going on. I'm pretty sure that maybe Colby called him, but I'm fucking almost assure you that the people in the lobby would have called. If I was working in the lobby, right? If I was just working in the lobby, and I know that the guys are trained fighters, right? You put this scenario in your head. The UFC books 400 rooms of a hotel, so the hotel's full of fighters, full chock-a-block full of fighters, right? I'm not a fighter. I'm just working in the lobby. I'm working there getting, I don't know, fucking $25 an hour. And I know these guys are all trained fighters, right? And this monster of a fucking bloke, a huge, huge man, Werdum's huge, walks into the lobby and pegs a boomerang at another dude just there in front of you. I don't know if I'm going to be next. I would call the police. 100% I would call the police. I don't know if he's going to start throwing boomerangs at everyone. I don't know if he's going to rip my head off. I don't know what he's going to do. For my own safety, fuck Colby. For me, I would have called the police. I like Werdum. I hope that he never... I wish that he never would have got in trouble for it, but that's what would have happened. They would have called the police. Oliver Ekman says, that's why you're the best, Fab. We know you win in life and save kittens and orphans in your spare time, and that's why I love you. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. One Foot at the Door says there's videos of it, and Colby posted it on Facebook. The last I heard was he got a fine with no criminal charges. Pastepot Thought says, glad to catch you live, Fab. Hope you've been well. I have, man. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. One Foot at the Door says, horrible optic though. Younger, smaller, cocky American talking shit and then running to the cops. No, that's a different story. That's the other thing that gets me with shit. Like when people go, can you believe that this guy did that? Can you believe that he reacted? The shit he said, you know, what do you think was going to happen when fucking Werdum or someone saw you? That's a different thing. That's like a different one. You know, the same when with the whole Conor and Khabib thing, and everyone's like, "Can you believe that? Oh my god!" And like, well, fuck, can you believe the shit that the guy said? And if he had won, if Conor had won, everyone would have been like, "Well, it's okay to say horrible fucking xenophobic shit, you know, and as long as you can back it up." Like, that's like, what the fuck, man? Of course, people are going to have enough, you know. Same as when, yeah, fuck. I'm not going to get into it, but yeah, of course. SG says, man, just notice how disposable boomerangs are. Then don't come back when they hit something. Well, the thing is, man, that boomerangs weren't necessarily made to come back. You know, if we look, there's all types of different boomerangs, and there's different boomerangs that were used for hunting and things. There's like these big war boomerangs, right? Big fucking war boomerangs that if Watum had thrown that at Colby, he'd be locked up for life, man. Yeah, so that's a little bit. If you're not from Australia, that's a little bit of boomerang history for you. Give me one sec. The boys are walking out to the fight. I'm a big fan of Cub Swanson, by the way. I don't know if he's going to get it done, but my heart's with Cub Swanson. The other thing is like when the Khabib thing happened, it was, you know, can you imagine like any other sport? Can you imagine any other sport? Can you imagine LeBron James throwing a fucking trolley through a bus window of the opposing team and then saying racist, xenophobic slurs to each other in the NBA, and the NBA commissioner smacking up his wife on fucking public TV and fucking, can you imagine that? You know what I mean? Can you imagine that? It's insane, dude. It's fucking crazy. And then after the game, after a big game, after the NBA finals, everyone just fucking smacking the shit out of each other. Dwayne Wade jumping into the crowd to stomp on the opposition coach. And then the NBA uses all of that footage, minus the commissioner bashing his wife, uses all of that footage, but the commissioner doesn't even get suspended. The commissioner says, as the NBA commissioner, my biggest punishment is going to be that I have to live with it. Right? So that happens. Everyone bashes each other, and then the NBA uses that to promote themselves. I am not bagging anyone on this, by the way. I don't think Conor gives a fuck that Khabib jumped the cage and that. I think he welcomed the fact that the Dagestanis jumped him and gave him even more notoriety when he lost. Right? Like if they had just left him, that's what would have been what everyone would have had to talk about, was just like he lost. But that gave him even more notoriety. So good for him. I'm just saying to you what it is. I'm not even bagging it. Fucking do whatever you want to do. I'm just saying that is what happened. Don't change it. LeBron saying, your wife is in my DMs. Yeah, Steph Curry saying that to people. We're off, guys. We're off. We're off. Dawodu versus Swanson. I think Swanson's a little bit older, you know, like a little bit old. Like he's a little bit suffered a few too many things, you know. But and Dawodu's a younger, powerful guy. So let's go. Oh, both go looking for leg kicks. And like I said, my heart's with Swanson. I've always been a fan of Swanson. Um, both in the orthodox stance. Dawodu lands a leg kick there. Neither one of them doing a whole lot of damage. They're both sussing each other out. Hands down from Swanson outside of the periphery of Dawodu's range. Dawodu's trying to creep in closer. Oh, 1-1-2 landed by Swanson. Nice combination. Swanson switches to southpaw. Goes looking for a left kick to the head, but misses and eats a right low kick for his troubles. Not much happening. They're both. Oh, nice right hand by Swanson. Swanson's employing a blitz kind of thing, and he's doubling up on the jab and coming in with the right hand. This very nice work from Swanson. Whether he's going to be able to keep this up for 3 rounds, I don't know. But good for him. Now, I've always been a fan of Swanson's. Oh, nice combination by Dawodu on the way in from Swanson. Dawodu's got a bit of power, eh? Nice low kick by Dawodu. Good exchange there. But no one's landing anything flush. The best punches of the fight, in my opinion, thus far, proper punches, probably by Swanson. But Dawodu's hit him on the counter a few times as well. And Swanson always looks a little small at featherweight. Eh? He doesn't. He's never really the bigger of the guys. See, Swanson's a good grappler, man. He's a really good grappler. He's a good wrestler. He's got good jiu-jitsu. But being a smaller guy like this, it's harder to be able to put that into the game. It's harder to grapple like that when the guys are bigger than you. There's 1 minute and 46 seconds to go in this round. Oh, nice little jab landed by Dawodu. Nice right hand. 1 minute, 27 seconds to go in this round. I just have a feeling that one of these guys is going to catch the other one. They're just kind of standing just outside the. Oh, and there's a little left hand landed by Dawodu. Oh, nice exchange. Nice left kick landed by Dawodu. He's starting to catch Swanson a little bit. 59 seconds to go. Jumping front kick by Dawodu to the solar plex of Swanson. Dawodu moving forward a little bit. They're fighting very economically. They're not. Oh, nice right kick to the body by Dawodu. Nice little blitz jab there landed by Swanson. Left low kick landed by Dawodu. 17 seconds to go in this round. Oh, politely taps him on the face with a left high kick. Does Swanson with 10 seconds to go. Nice low kick by Dawodu. That's the round, ladies and gentlemen. One foot at the doors. Let me see. Ofon says, yeah, I think Dana secretly loved it for promoting the fight. Look, man, in fairness, like Dana used it to promote the fight. Like that, this is not a secret. Of course he loved it. You know what I mean? And he made a shit ton of money from it, and that's what he's there to do. And he makes no apologies for it. So you got to, fuck, it is what it is. You can't, if you think it's something else other than that, you're crazy. One foot at the door says, good way for Cub to go out with potential win or close decision loss. I don't see Hakim pulling the trigger. Yep, I agree with you, one foot at the door. So I'm going to skip a few. Michael Kavita says, well, the players did beat people up in the crowd one time, laugh out loud, but that didn't go well for them. Malice in the Palace, that was a big one. There were other fights in that, though. There have been other all-inners, but the Malice in the Palace one was bad. In fairness, though, I don't even think it was the players that started that one, and they still ate shit. You know what I mean? Like it was a big thing. I'll tell you something else. The fight just started, 4:35 to go. But I'll tell you something else. NBA players, if they are terrifying human beings too. They're fucking huge people, man. Huge athletic people. You've got rocks in your head if you're fighting those guys. They're big punches in the clinch. Both these guys have started off this round with much more gusto. Big shots to the body by Cub Swanson landing. I don't know who won that first round. I don't know. I'm not judging the fights. I'm just watching it. Dawodu has pushed Swanson up against the cage. Swanson's doing a good job of defending. He's got an underhook in. He's going to get his bum out. He's out of there. Yes, well done, Swanson. See, that was a difference. As soon as he got that underhook in, he got his bum out. But then Dawodu switched it back over for him. On him, Dawodu has a head positioning, and he's got an underhook, and he's landing big knees up the middle, and another knee. These knees to the body hurt. If in case you think they look like they don't, they fucking hurt, and they take the air out of you. And just getting like manhandled up against the cage is extremely tiring. Like the isometric contractions and the pummeling, just wear your arms out. Nice little calf kick landed by Dawodu, and the exchanges there. Again, I do think that Swanson is the faster guy in the exchanges, but Dawodu lands the bigger shots. Oh, Dawodu lands a nice shot there. Dawodu with another right hand. Two minutes, 28 seconds to go. Dawodu coming forward a little bit. Swanson moving on the periphery, switches to southpaw and switches back to orthodox. See, Swanson's got a lot of experience. He's very savvy, and he's still got some of that speed. I just don't see him being able to physically keep up with Dawodu for the whole fight like this, unless he catches him. Dawodu's able to bully him as well, but Swanson throws, man. He throws fast and hard. If he catches him on the fight metric, Swanson's landing the more shots to the head. But that's like I said, he's quicker in the blitz. But I just see that Dawodu also is landing, to me, the bigger shots. Just maybe they are from Swanson's reactions. I can't judge that just watching it like this on the screen. So sometimes people, when they watch it, they don't understand like that it looks different when you're watching it live and when you're watching it cage side. Like there's shots I've been at fights where people get hit. Then you watch them back on TV and it don't look that big. But when you're standing cage side and you see the shot land, and sometimes you see the sweat explode out of the guy's head, but you only see that from certain angles. But what you do see, sometimes I've seen guys get hit and they go like, their face goes like that. But if you're standing behind them, you don't get to see that properly. And it's only instantaneous. But if you saw that in that second, then you'd give that punch more value than anyone else would that didn't see that, or that saw it from a different angle. And it happens instantaneously. And there might be 200 punches thrown in that round. You're not going to go, you have to be there to see that particular shot in that particular second. So I'm not privy to that watching it from here. It's very different when you watch it live. When you're next to the fight, it's completely different. So Dawodu's pushed Swanson up against the cage, and he's landing the knees. He's bullying him up against the cage more than anything with 15 seconds to go. Now swinging in the middle. Swanson's he's throwing big shots in the middle. 3 seconds to go. They're exchanging. Swanson's calling him out to fight. Oh! They were big exchanges. Dawodu's not happy that Swanson ran up and punched him in the face, I think. Well, you're going to fight, man. That's what's going to happen. Wow. Let me see. I'm going to skip a few. I know this isn't the time or place, but please, everyone, send your prayers, love, and aloha to all the people in Lahaina, Maui. For sure, man. It's there was a natural disaster there, right? If I'm not mistaken. And I hope that you and your family are all right, mate. The fires are horrible. We've gone through fires here in Australia, and this summer will be big fire season for us, and it's going to be fucking brutal for us. So my heart goes out to you, and I absolutely empathize with you because I know what that's like, man. The elk that's screeching in the background, Ekman, is my daughter, my middle daughter. She's a lunatic, fucking lunatic. She's 1.5 years old, and she's mad. All right, we're off. Let's see if Swanson. I can't see Swanson winning this fight at this point. I don't think. Yeah, they need to start exchanging, man. They're having a firefight. I think Swanson. I think Swanson has to. It'd be good to make these two guys fight Brunson. This would be a good fight at the same time. But no, Swanson at this point, I think needs a stoppage. I would imagine. Oh, nice little left hook. When Swanson throws that jab and dips his head, Dawodu's throwing that left uppercut to try and catch him. Oh, nice spinning back kick by Dawodu. Oh, lands a nice jab on Swanson. Does Dawodu. Nice exchanges. Nice exchange of kicks. They're throwing so fast and so hard now in the third round. It's hard to keep up with them. Now it's in the clinch. And this is where the big... Oh! There's the throw. I love that throw by Swanson. I really do love when he does that throw. He's done it to a few people. That head and arm throw. Like the headlock throw. Or Sotogari for the judo fans. He pushes him up against the cage, does Dawodu, and he's going to bully him for there's 3 minutes to go, and he's kind of just going to bully him up against the cage. Yeah, the bushfires and stuff like that, man, are brutal, man. We have them in Australia, and it's brutal, man. It's absolutely brutal. And there's nowhere to go. It's not just the fire, it's the smoke that destroys you. Then the wildlife and the contamination to the rivers and the waterways and everything. It's brutal. Fires are fucking brutal. And then in Australia, we have the fires, and then we have the floods as well, because then all the earth is all messed up because the earth's been dry, and then the fire happens, and then flooding happens. So they all go together. So big knee up the middle. Oy! It looked like he landed. It didn't look like he landed that in the nuts. Let me see. Oh, fuck. It landed in the nuts. No, that's yes. 2 minutes and 28 seconds to go. The thing is that people can't appreciate when you get hit in the nuts like that, dude. Like you not if you get hit flush in the balls like that, you're not going to be okay after a minute or two. You know that's going to affect you. It's like getting big shot to the body. Oh, yeah. Swanson has got so much dog in him, dude. Like he's got so much dog. He just keeps coming forward. He knows what he knows. He has to get a stoppage. Big right hand lands by Dawodu, and Swanson just keeps coming forward. Oh, nice rip to the body by Swanson. Oh, right hand landed by Dawodu. They exchange jabs. 1 minute, 42 seconds to go. Big exchanges. Swanson initiating these exchanges. Oh, lands a left and a right on Dawodu. Dawodu shows off a good chin. Dawodu throws a right hand again. Dawodu with a nice rip by taking on the forearms. Oh, there's a big double leg by Swanson with 1 minute and 21 seconds to go. Lands in the closed guard of Dawodu. The problem is that even if Swanson wins this round, which I do believe he did, I don't think he won one of the other two. I don't think so. So I don't know that he can. I don't know. Dawodu's doing. See here, if you close the guard, it's fine. You can close the guard because if you think you're winning the fight and there's 54 seconds to go and you can just hold him there, that's good. Swanson's going to try and land some shots. The problem is when Swanson, now he's starting to pass. He's in half guard. This is completely different. Dawodu doesn't have the knee shields on there, doesn't have the underhook, so he's being held flat to the mat. And again, like I said, this isn't going to be enough because I don't think Swanson's going to win this fight with a decision. And there's 30 seconds to go. Can he pound him to death? But as soon as you posture to get up, that's when Dawodu's going to be able to get back to his feet. Swanson's looking for some sort of truck roll back take, and it looks like he might do it. Is he going to be able to get the choke? Is he going to be able to get the choke? I don't think he's in the position to do it, but I'd love it if he did. No offense to Dawodu. I'm just a fan of Swanson. Oh, Dawodu reverses it with a couple of seconds to go, and I do believe that is the fight. Nah, he always puts on a show. I don't think he beat Poirier in 2023, that's for sure. At featherweight, no. Yeah, 2013. Yeah, nah. Swanson was a killer. Just try and think of how long he's been fighting for, dude. He fought Jens Pulver back in the day. He fought Jens Pulver back in the day. It'd be interesting. I don't know who won that fight. I can't say to you who won it or not. I think the second round, again, it's hard, man. It's hard for me because I wasn't judging it. I was just watching the fight, and at times I looked away and I'm talking to people and this and that. So it's hard for me to say. That second round was won by Cub. I mean, the third round, I believe, was won by Cub. Then the first two, I mean, the first round could have gone either way. You know what I mean? I think it was the first round that could have gone either way, or the second round could have gone. The first round could have gone either way. So it could be Cub. Cub could have pulled that off. Maybe. See, this is what I mean. This is a close fight to me. You can't get angry about not getting the win on a close fight like that. That's my opinion. That's what I think. One foot out the door says Dustin was once scheduled to fight Aldo. Man, Aldo was a monster, dude. Aldo was a fucking monster. Yeah, the significant strikes are always weird because it's hard to gauge exactly what a significant strike is or how hard it landed, etc. Joseph says, I stand by this. The two worst decisions made by fighters are Connor talking all the shit and Vettori not shaking Rob's hands in the face-offs. Laugh out loud. Yeah, but in fairness, you have to do this with Vettori. Vettori, I think if from what I gather, because I watch very little of it, Vittori seems like a good guy. He just seems like he has to get emotionally charged to fight, like he hates the guy, but he just seems like he's like an angry man. Like he's got like a lot of emotion rather than anger. And Cub Swanson won it. Good for him. Good for him. Yeah, so I don't know that like about Vittori, you know, he just seems like he needs to, yeah. Beetlejuice says, when you were on team, I don't know what that means, Beetlejuice. I don't know the context for what you wrote there. Um, yeah, I think that Vittori is just like an emotional character, you know what I mean? So he creates that. I've never been involved in any backstage brawl like that with anyone or anything Beetlejuice. Never. Um, yeah, no. I'm not the kind of like I'll fight if I have to, but no, I'm not the kind of guy that's going to be in the thick of it. SG says interesting decision. Yeah, I was going for Cub. I was going for Cub, and I thought the other fellow won it. But that's only like I said, I wasn't judging it, and so I'm not against Cub getting the win. I think that it was a close fight. When you have those two close rounds, though, you have to when you have two close rounds like that, you can't think that the other guy got that you got both of them. You know what I mean? You got to think, well, maybe they got split. You know, that happens a lot of the times. It happens a lot. Like you have a couple of close rounds, but then the third round was clearly won by Swanson. So you have to think if there's three judges, that all three judges gave you both of those earlier rounds and that nobody saw it any different. So a lot of the times when it's close rounds like that, I tend to split them. And so, yeah, I can see Cub Swanson getting that decision as well. It's just they're close fights, man. They're very hard to judge those fights. You know, I don't think you're gonna ever get it right. I don't think you're gonna think if you have more people judging, that's not going to fix it. You're just going to have fuck, man. Look at some of the people that get elected president or prime minister or whatever. You have heaps of people voting, and half the other people, doesn't matter who it is, half the other people, you have in the US 300 million plus, right? People win an election by 50% and a little bit more, you know what I mean? And then you have well over 150 million people in the US that aren't happy with that decision, you know? Doesn't matter which one it is. Joseph says MMA fans today mistake a close fight to a robbery, sadly. Yeah, it's not. It's not a robbery either way. It wouldn't have been a robbery. You know, there are some fights. You know which fight was a fucking robbery? The one that comes to my mind that I'll go, that was a robbery. Like an out and out robbery was that Paddy Pimblett fight against Jared Vandera. Was it Jared against that? Pretty sure it was a Jared guy. That to me was an out and out robbery. I remember I was out with some friends, right? And people were watching it. And I was like, this guy's Paddy Pimblett's not going to lose unless this other fellow cuts his jugular with a fucking razor. Like I wasn't even watching the fight. And everyone's like, nah, he won. The other guy won. Fab. And I said to him, I'm not watching the fight. Pimblett is going to get the decision. And he did, you know. Then I watched the fight back and I was like, fuck, that was a robbery. Oliver Ekman, you funny man. SG says Peter Yan versus Sean O'Malley was damn close to a robbery also. Let me go back to, yeah, there would have been a context for me to say that, Oliver. And because in the second fight, I don't even want to talk about it. Don't worry about it. Let me not go down that way. Peter Yan versus Sean O'Malley was damn close to robbery also. Yeah, again, if you look at both those guys, Sean O'Malley, and Sean O'Malley's not Paddy Pimblett, right? Sean O'Malley, but if you look at Sean O'Malley and Paddy Pimblett, both of those guys, every time there's going to be a close decision, they're going to win it. This is, say what you want. But Sean O'Malley did a lot more in that fight that I'll allow for it being a close decision than a fucking robbery. A robbery was that fight with Paddy Pimblett. Like when I think of robberies, that was a fucking robbery. You know, that's not even, yeah, you know. If you're a superstar, if you're a big name and it goes down to the wire, you're going to get the decision, you know. SG says Derek Lewis versus Blagoy Ivanov also a robbery. Yeah, I can't think of that one like 100% like to my head like this. It doesn't come. The robbery that comes straight to my head is that Paddy Pimblett fight. Like that's the one that I look at and go like, you should have just given him the win before he fought. You know, you should have just said, you get the win, buddy. You know. Ofon says the biggest robbery was McGregor versus Mayweather and all those other fights like that they do the boxing fights because people pay to watch them. So yeah, no. I honestly didn't think it would be a good fight, and I didn't pay for that fight. I drew the line. SG says when the guy starts clapping during the announcement and ends up winning, even he knows it's a robbery. Yeah, they should have just given Pimblett the fight at the start. They should have given Pimblett the fight week of or at the weigh-ins. They should have just said, you're going to win. Unless Gordon slits your fucking throat. Because even if he had knocked him out, even if Gordon had knocked him out, they would have put him in the recovery position, told Gordon off, given Paddy Pimblett his 5 minutes and woke him back up and let him keep fighting. So unless he tore off the jugular or something, that was going to get it. So, yeah, that's what my opinion on that. I think inside the UFC, Joseph, inside the UFC, we're talking about the biggest robberies. Let's not rehash horrible events. That fight was a win by me by a million miles. Here's Dos Anjos and Luque. I'm a big fan of Dos Anjos. Big fan, huge fan. Right, Conor versus Khabib was a freaking robbery. I'll tell you what the thing is, even in that fight, right? Even in that fight with Conor and Khabib, right? There was a round, the third round, right? And everyone's like, Conor won that round. Conor did fucking nothing to win that third round. He just didn't get fucking beat. And that just starts to show you like the narrative that starts to get created. Because that wasn't like, so if say, for example, that fourth round was something similar and it was even, and Khabib didn't smash him, like Conor would have won that decision. Do you know what I mean? Like if a fight, if the rounds are close, it was going to Conor. This is 100%. So Dos Anjos is about to walk in. It's hard, man. It's a hard style to implement late in your career, upper weight division when you have a grapple heavy wrestle jiu-jitsu style. He has good striking. He has good striking, good shots, but I don't see him carrying that power over. You lose him a lot of the times. You lose a mechanical advantage when you're going upper weight division. Prime RDA was a monster. He absolutely was. He was a very, very, very good fighter. You know, he's a solid little dude too. Like, not like he's not huge, but when you see him in real life, he's like a real fucking thick dude, man. Yeah, his jiu-jitsu is very good level. Very, very good level jiu-jitsu. I think he won worlds at purple belt. Yeah, which is no joke. You know, it's a very good level, and obviously he's a very good black belt now. So he's got very, very good jiu-jitsu credentials behind him. Pretty sure, fucking, if I had to bet, I'm pretty sure he won worlds at purple belt level. Now we have Luque walking in. I just see Luque getting the better of the strike. But I don't know with the brain. You know what I mean? I don't know how that's come about. I don't know how confident he is. Joseph says, dude, you should have heard Dominic Cruz's commentary on the Khabib Conor fight. Just no shame. He's trying to gas Khabib out as Khabib smashes Conor on the ground. Laugh out loud. Yeah, I remember hearing that, but there is something that I will say to that, because I don't know if because Dominic Cruz is very knowledgeable and he's usually pretty good, you know, but I don't know if it came out wrong with what he said. So I've always given him the benefit of the doubt with that, because I don't believe that he meant it to sound like that. I can't believe that. Because there was a thing, the way that Khabib was hitting him, I was thinking I actually thought that when Dominic Cruz said it. I didn't think Conor is doing this. I thought if Khabib keeps punching like this and he can't get Conor out of there, he's going to gas. You know, I didn't think this is Conor's strategy. And that's how it sounded when Cruz said it. You know what I mean? Which when he said it, I thought, come on, man. But even as soon as he got into the third round and he Conor kept the fight a little bit on the feet and defended a takedown and threw a couple of kicks to the body, everyone's like, oh, Conor's going to win. Conor's winning this round and, you know, blah, 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 blah. You know, so anything, because Conor's a bigger superstar, Conor was going to win a decision, you know, unless Khabib absolutely fucking mauled him, you know, like it didn't matter. Conor was throwing knees to the head from the bottom, you know, and shit, and nothing was said, you know what I mean? Yeah, I hate these fights too when I like them both, but yeah, this is going to be, again, one of the statistic fights, like 31 fights 38. He's a bigger guy. He's going to win this fight unless he gets caught. I don't see any other way. Joseph says, Conor was so badly beaten that I felt bad for him at the end of the fight. Laugh out loud. Yeah, man. Conor's good, man. Conor's a good fucking fighter. Like, he's just not as good as the UFC and his fans make him out to be, which is not fair. No one's that fucking good. You know what I mean? Like, they make him sound like a mystical fucking beast. But is he a good fighter? Fucking oath, he's a good fighter. For sure, he's a really good fighter. Like Goldberg, this 1 foot out the door says, like Goldberg saying, it takes a lot of energy to fight like a rock star 10 seconds before Holm KO'd her. Yeah, did he say fight like a rock star or to be a rock star? I don't know, but I remember I was there at the back when I've never seen, honestly, I'll tell you the truth, I was at the back where the fighters watch the fights, and I've never ever seen like a unanimous everybody cheering for Holm when she knocked out Ronda. I've never seen it like everybody was cheering like against Ronda. 1 foot at the door says, I was co-main and main on mute because it's too political. Ofom says, damn, Luque is only 31. 1 foot at the door says, I could be off by a few words. Oliver Aikman says, IBJJF has fabricated. Oliver Aikman says, go check. And Ofon says, people hated her for sure. Yeah, it was bad. Like, I've never seen that like that before since, like, never been out the back, and everybody was cheering against her. Everybody, you know, and the way that everyone roared when she lost was like crazy. Okay, both guys here. Yeah, it's a nuggety fellow is thing. I'm not talking about Ronda Rousey here. I'm just talking about people in general, like some people in general, some fighters. I don't fucking know how some fighters have fans. Like, I don't. Like, somebody, I don't see how people can like follow the person or like them or anything. I don't. Or yeah. Easy one, Joseph. If I had to learn another language, I'd learn Chinese. My wife and her family speak Chinese. Mandarin. Yeah, so we're off. Dos Anjos switching stances left and right. He's in the southpaw stance at the moment. Luque is up against the cage and throws a right body kick. Dos Anjos goes looking for a left body kick of his own. I don't know how Luque is going to come back from this surgery, confidence-wise as well. He threw a nice right high kick there to Dos Anjos. Dos Anjos took it on the forearms. They're in close. They're in close there. Dos Anjos backing Luque up. I just don't see Dos Anjos being able to apply that kind of pressure for 5 rounds to someone like Luque. I just don't see it without getting caught. I can see him getting caught with a right hand down the middle. Good shot there by Dos Anjos. Is in deep on this double leg. And Luque is fighting the grips. Dos Anjos with a knee to the bottom, knee to the thigh. Luque is now pummeled and he's got the underhooks that he needs. He's doing a good job. Luque pummels and puts there. So they're fighting. They're jostling for position. They're going backwards and forwards, changing positions because they got basically a 50-50 in. Each one of them has the underhook and they're fighting for these positions. Dos Anjos goes looking for a takedown, almost gets it. Luque keeps his balance. And Luque is able to change him again, switch. And now Luque's got the RDA up against the cage. And this is why I say to you, it's very hard. At lightweight, he could do this to most people except, Khabib and a few others. But the fight he gave Khabib, wasn't easy. He made Khabib really, really work in that fight. But he could do this to a lot of people at thing. But to do it to a young guy for 5 rounds, like a Luque like this, I don't think he's going to be able to do it. And you can see him, he's already losing the positions at times, so this is not good for him. And Luque is being very patient and he's holding RDA up against the cage himself. There's 2 minutes and 30 seconds to go. Oh, big elbow over the top from RDA. Lands some nice shots on Luque, but now they're out in the open mat. That effort would definitely have taken a toll out of RDA. He won't be able to do that for 5 rounds. And he has to, because he loses mechanical advantage, he has to use a lot of strength to do the same things. So inside these first 3 rounds, he might be able to get Luque out of there, but otherwise I think Luque is going to get him. But he's landing a big left hand on Luque just then a second ago. Inside leg kick landed by Luque. Front kick up the middle landed by Luque. Nice kick by RDA. 1-2 by Luque. Right hand by Luque again. Oh, big rip to the body by Luque on the liver. Oh, my God. RDA is doing good to walk through that. But these men, those shots like that affect you, man. And they affect you later in the fight. They're money in the bank. I'd like to see more front kicks by Luque. Another kick, but taken on the forearms of RDA. Don't kid yourself. All these things wear you out over the course of the fight. Ooh, he ran into a forearm of RDA a second ago, did Luque. He's framing. He's doing a good job. Luque is trying to get his head in the right position. There's 53 seconds to go. Luque goes looking for a single leg of his own. He gets RDA down. He gets a takedown on RDA, but RDA is pulled into a deep guillotine. Is Luque going to be able to get out of this? Is he going the right direction? He is, because RDA can't tilt him to RDA's right. So Luque is able to fight this off a little bit, and he's jumped over and he's got in the position. And RDA is now on all fours. And he's trying to get up, but he's eating some ground and pound, and it's pretty heavy, some of those uppercuts from Luque. And he goes once again looking for the single leg. I think RDA may have a Kimura. I can't see it from this angle, but it looks like he may. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the round. I would give that round to Luque. I would give that round to Luque. Okay, so 1 foot at the door says legendary durability with all the top 10 people he fought in 2 weight classes. Yes, sir. Oliver Ekman says, speaking of looking something up, go look Fab City Hall statue. That's what they should do. Yeah, they should do that. Yeah, I don't RDA had some really good moments in the fight, but Luca did get the takedown, and Luca did land the bigger shots, especially on the ground. He landed the shots. He's tidy too with his stand up, is Luca. RDA is more nuggety and more powerful, but as somebody was asking before about the shorter guys, and this is, you got to be in or out, and you got to have power when you come in if you lack the range. I'll tell you in a second, Beetlejuice. Okay. Okay, so both guys are 4 minutes and 39 seconds to go. RDA in the southpaw stance and Luque in the, nice kick to the body, taken partially on the forearms by Luque. Luque goes looking for a right hook of his own. Gets out of the way. Nice front kick. Nice. It wasn't a front kick. It was like a roundhouse kick to the body. Caught by RDA. But Luque gets out of it. Nice inside kick by Luque. RDA looking for jabs. Nice. In the clinch now, Luque is kind of like, if it's RDA doing it, if it's a bit of ring rust, I'm not sure, but he kind of looks a little bit gun shy in certain exchanges, not like other times I've seen Luque. Now Luque is getting the better of the grappling exchanges here, and he's able to put RDA up against the wall. RDA is defending the takedown. He is framing with his shin now again. Luque has the underhook, and RDA has his right hand on Luque's left bicep, which is good frames. This is high level grappling up against the cage. Luque is looking for that single leg again, which he did have success with. Great job of framing by RDA. Oh, nice elbow on the break by RDA. Luque is doing a good job. Oh, RDA stepped in and ate a little jab there. RDA is doing a good job looking for that right hand down the middle, which is always present with orthodox versus southpaw. Right high kick, as is the right high kick. I was just about to say it, and he threw it. Now he switches to southpaw, does Luque, but switches back to orthodox. RDA looking for that 1-2. Oh, the right hand lands by Luque, but showing off that granite chin is RDA. Gets to take it down on Luque. Luque manages to get back to his feet. See, that's very, very important when you get back to your feet. As soon as you get taken down, you got to get up. If you get taken down, you stop for 1 second to do anything, to think about submission, to think about anything you've done. He's going to hold you down. It's taken down and he pops back up. And it's hard. It's a hard style to fight, especially when you're the smaller man. You know, it's very hard for you to apply that grappling style for 5 rounds when you're the smaller guy. Luque now gets a takedown on RDA. RDA is doing a good job of posting on his right arm to get back up. And then he gets back to his feet, does RDA. Good job by RDA. This is extremely, extremely tiring. Extremely tiring kind of fight to fight like this. And we're at 1 minute and 36 seconds to go in the second round. So you've still got 3 more rounds of this, 3.5 more rounds to fight like this. Very hard. Very, very, very hard. You got to use old rice, Beetlejuice, older rice, like a few days old. And then you got to do like simmer the onions and that in the in the pot before you put the rice in. That'll make a big difference. So then you get all the stuff that you're making with the onions and all of that. You have those flavors go through the rice. It makes a huge difference. Fucking huge. It sounds like it doesn't, but it does. So the older rice and the onions in the pan that you're going to use, you brown them and cook them in there first. And it's quite delicious. That's my mother-in-law does it like that. Ophon says, is it just me or does Luque look more gun-shy? He does. He looks a little bit more gun-shy to me. I don't know if it's because of the surgery. I don't know if it's affected his confidence. I don't know if it's due to the last fight. He's got a standing triangle, head-arm triangle on Dos Anjos with 27 seconds to go. But he's doing a fantastic job of mauling Dos Anjos up against a cage, which is not an easy thing to do. And Dos Anjos is still in there. He's got a lot of dog in him. Eats a massive jab then. He's got a lot of dog in him in the fight. Yeah, nice right kick again. But that front kick to the body's money by Luque. That's the one. Especially with a guy that's going to try and grapple you like this. You have to hit him in the body. And that's a round. I, watching this fight, think that Luque is up 2 rounds. That's my opinion. And that Dos Anjos has eaten. Remember this. Remember that he's eaten some big body shots. He ate some big body shots earlier in the fight, in the first round. He ate a big rip to the liver. In 5-round fights, those body shots that you eat early in the fight come back and haunt you in the later rounds. So don't be surprised to see RDA start to slow down a fair bit later in the fight. And that's going to affect him because his style, it has to be in close against someone like Luque. He can't fight on the outside. He's a smaller guy. But that kick to the liver wouldn't have been pleasant. RDA hit him. Nice elbow over the top by RDA. And we're just talking about the replays here. And then Luque hits him with an elbow of his own. They replayed it like it was all done by RDA. So I don't know. Like to me, Luque did more stuff in that fight, in that round. But that's me. Now we're going Southpaw to Orthodox. Luque, of course, in the Orthodox stance. Good work by Luque. Standing just outside, throwing the jabs. There's a bit of blood coming out of the nose of RDA. Another right hand to the body and a left jab to the head by Luque. Left kick to the body by RDA. You can start to see that the body shot's starting to affect RDA because you just see his hands, especially his left hand's a little bit lower than he was holding it earlier, and that's going to start to be a problem because Luque has been looking for that right high kick the whole fight. Again, RDA pushes him up against the cage, but Luque is the one that when he gets pushed to the cage, he's able to reverse it and put RDA on the cage and even take RDA down, which is a big problem because the guy that's initiating it with the initial energy is RDA. So it's very, very tiring for RDA to get reversed after you get it to the cage. But he's got his back to the center of the cage at the moment. So he's working and he's trying to get the position, but he's not able to secure it or solidify where he's at. Goes in deep, does Luque. Looking for the single leg, and he's got it, and he's taken RDA down. RDA gets to his feet, and Luque gets him down again. It's an incredibly tiring way to fight. This is for a young man to fight like this. You know, this is not going to be easier for the older guy to fight like this. This is hard. RDA has his arm looking for a guillotine, but I don't think is any risk of him catching Luque in a guillotine. In fact, I think that if he did take him down, if Luque did take him down and RDA went for a guillotine, it'll just solidify the takedown more than anything. This RDA is doing a good job defending. He was looking for a front headlock. But Luque did a good job of arm dragging out of it. Doubles up on the jab, does RDA. Oh, nice left hand landed by RDA. 1-2 by Luque. Luque is walking him down, making RDA move back. Oh, nice right check hook by RDA on Luque. Front kick by Luque. Luque switches to southpaw, switches back to orthodox. Oh, there's a left kick to the body by RDA, landing on Luque, but Luque lands a couple of jabs of his own to RDA. RDA goes looking for a left hand. Nice combination by RDA. Luque kicks a body. RDA goes looking for an uppercut, misses. Right hand to the head. Nice combinations by RDA. Eats a jab on the way in, though. RDA once again goes looking for the takedown. He's in deep. He's got the legs locked. Luque went looking for a guillotine. RDA reverses it. They're in north-south position with RDA on top. Luque gets to his feet. This is a lot of energy by RDA if he can't secure the position. I believe that Luque is going to look to arm drag out of this front headlock, which he does, and he does so successfully, and takes a standing back with no hooks of RDA. Now he's kneeing RDA to the body. This was an incredible amount of energy used by RDA, but not being able to secure a position. With 39 seconds to go, Luque is still hunting for the single leg. He's defending the single leg. 15 seconds to go. On Beetlejuice on my Instagram, but you'd have to scroll through. But I don't have heaps of shit on my Instagram anyways. But on my Instagram, I make fried rice. There's a fried, I go through and make fried rice. You can see it. I think this third round, that's the end of the third round for Luque again. It was closer, but I think he definitely got it. Yeah, that does make a big difference. Any tips? We are expecting a daughter in January. How did you handle 2 kids? Congratulations, sir, for the birth of your daughter. That's awesome. That's awesome. Very, very cool. Man, it's fucking hard. Just understand it's going to be hard. We got 3 under 3 basically, and it's fucking hard work, man. It's just going to be hard work. I think you have to be kind to yourself and kind to each other, you and your wife, and take the wins, man. Like take the wins. Like if you can leave them at someone's house, like your parents' house, even for a couple of hours, you can leave the older one, with parents or brothers or sisters, someone you can trust. Take it. Be kind to each other. Understand that neither one of you is going to rest well. So you're not always going to say the nicest things to each other. You're not always going to be super nice to each other. So I definitely think being patient and being kind to yourself and to your partner are the big ones. Because then you're better parents. If there's tension and you're not good, you're not going to be good parents. It's going to be, it's hard. And there's no recipe for it, man. You're going to fuck up and you're going to do well. And everybody does that. 4:47 to go in the 4th round. Luque is backing RDA up with some nice shots, pushing them up against the cage. RDA is looking for a left hand. There's that right high kick by Luque. RDA is definitely slowed down. He's definitely slowed down. Nice knee to the body, and he goes looking for the double leg. Does Luque. RDA is doing a great job of defending, but he's really making RDA work. He's doing a great job. RDA versus Moicano was one of the worst beatdowns I've seen, like that I can think of right now. Yeah, that was pretty bad. Great job by Luque here. And he's fighting smart too, but I don't know if he's not the same Luque. I don't know if he looks a little bit different to how I've seen him fight in the past. I don't know if it's credit to RDA making it like this kind of fight. And also Luque is looking at the kind of path of least resistance because he's able to get him to the ground. And now there's less ability from RDA to get back to the feet. He's got him in a cradle now. Does Luque stopping RDA from getting to his feet. So it's a very, very good position. Underutilized, in my opinion, in MMA, the cradle. There's so many things you can do from that position. It's just horrible, hard way for you to have to fight to get out of it, and it eats up the clock. Now they're having like a Muay Thai fight in the middle of the cage. RDA tries to back him to the cage, and Luque is able to turn him, and Luque, I believe, will get another takedown here. Ofon says maybe he realized he wanted to change his style for his health. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I think it also lends to the fact that he's the bigger guy in here against the two of them, and that RDA is a little bit older and he's able to implement this style against RDA, whereas I don't think he'd be able to. His grappling and offensive wrestling, I don't think is going to be applicable against the bigger guys and front runners in this division at the moment. The guys that are like your Leon Edwards types of cats and that. He's not going to be able to apply this kind of game to him. Joseph, I'm looking forward to seeing the comeback fight of the great Chris Weidman next week. Hope everything goes well. Yeah, man, me too. I'm a big fan of Chris Weidman. Big fan. Against Brad Tavares too. That's a hard out. That's a tough fight. That'll be interesting. It'll show you where he's at too. Luque is pushing him up against the cage. He's got a deep right underhook. So the fight is becoming like just a complete grind up against the cage by Luque. Dos Anjos has got the double underhooks. Now Dos Anjos is back into the center of the octagon. Oh, nice little left hand by... Oh, Dos Anjos goes looking for the double leg. He's got his hands clasped. He takes the back. Ofon says, Chris Weidman is one of those fighters that's taken so much damage throughout his career that I'm glad and a bit surprised he speaks so clearly. The thing is that whilst he's taken a lot of damage, it hasn't been over a huge amount of fights. Because I think he fought Anderson Silva when he was like 10-0, so whilst he did take the damage, it happened in a relatively short amount of time. So it wasn't done over, 10, 15 years of just 3 of those fights a year. It was done in a relatively short amount of time. So that's one of the things that, helped. Luque is on the back of Dos Anjos with 1 second to go. And things aren't looking good for Dos Anjos in this fight. Joseph says, I would have preferred the UFC give him a tune-up fight, but that's the fight business. The problem is that if you think about it, Tavares, I think Tavares might be in the top 15, and his last fight, if I'm not mistaken, one of his last fights was that 3-round decision loss to Daukus. I don't know if he had another one. So it's kind of the fight that makes sense, because you can't give him a fight with somebody that's not ranked or known. You still got to give him a name because he is Chris Weidman. And so you can't, who are you going to give him? You're going to give him a guy that's debuting and then risk. Like if he loses to Tavares, it's still, that's Brad Tavares at the end of the day. Tavares is no fucking joke. It's kind of the right fight to make, I think, because that will tell you where you're at. You can't give him or you're going to give him Bo Nickel or someone like this. You can't, you know what I mean? Like you can't. Yeah, I was going to say with Ofon, he's probably one of the guys that's got the biggest paydays that aren't champion. You know what I mean? What he would get paid to show. So you're not going to pay him to fight someone that's not known at all. You're going to have to fight someone good. So the last round, ladies and gentlemen, were here. Dos Anjos was close to getting finished at the end of that round, and Luque is winning this fight hands down, in my opinion. And I don't know that he doesn't. The problem for Dos Anjos is that his fight plan, and it's not just, his fight plan, he had the wrong fight plan. It's not that. Your fight plan is also like relevant to your skills. You know what I mean? Like it's relative rather to your skills. It's not just, he should have done this. So the way that Dos Anjos fights is exactly what he's doing now, throwing the combinations and then grapple fucking you. But he can't do it to Luque, which is very hard. And he's a shorter fighter. It's a bad matchup, and he's 38. So with 3 minutes and 57 seconds to go, Luque goes down and looking for the double leg. Luque's got the head position. Ofon says, if you don't have the tools to fight a certain way, it's not in the cards. Yeah, people don't understand that, though. They just go, you should have done this, or you should have done that. And it's not that easy. And it's not just as a question of just you getting better at something. Like, there's people that you're not going to be able to out-grapple. You know what I mean? It's just not going to happen. Joseph says, Coach, speaking of paydays, I don't know if you discussed this in a previous podcast, but what are your thoughts with the Wonder Boy not getting paid his show money after he cut weight? I honestly don't know enough about that specific situation, because I don't know if they said to him, look, we'll give you more money for you, we'll put you on another card. I don't know what the negotiations were behind the scenes. I don't know, right? I don't know enough, so I haven't followed it. I think that at face value, if you make the weight, you should get your show money. That's it. Not only should you get your show money, but fuck me, it's a massive organization. You should get your show money and get his show money. You know what I mean? That's what I think should happen. His show money, your show money. That's what should happen. But let's say that you don't do that. Let's say you should for sure just get your show money. That's for sure. You should get paid that. It's not your fucking fault that that the guy didn't think that. You should get paid. I don't even think, like I said, I don't even think your show money is enough, because you cut weight. You made you did everything. It's not like you can just fight again in 2 weeks either, because the weight cut is rough on your body. And if you have to travel, that's even worse, which wasn't the case for him, but definitely the weight cut would be hard on him, especially at 40. May I post a link of a picture of my homemade pizza? Yes, sir. Joseph says, only the UFC penalized you for being a professional. I'll talk about that in a second. Let me go back to that in a second. I remember that. One Foot at the Door says, it's hard to look good in there against RDA when you fight his fight. Yeah, no, but he is absolutely doing a great job. He's RDAing RDA, and he's doing a great job of that. Ofon says, I don't know how to do hyperlinks. Yeah, me neither, mate. I don't know. I've got a pizza oven, an amazing pizza oven at my house, and we make homemade pizzas, wood-fired pizzas here. I love it. I love the homemade pizzas. They're the best. Good for you, man. Is it homemade wood-fired in a pizza oven? 1 minute to go. RDA is holding on to Luque up against the cage. He's not going to win this fight like this. There's 58 seconds to go. Yeah. Ofon says, laugh out loud. I use a regular electric oven. 550 Fahrenheit max temperature. No, man, the pizza oven's fucking unreal. RDA starting to unload a little bit. Oh, he just misses on a left high kick. Goes looking for a left hand. RDA is getting some shots off here at the end of this round. They're exchanging with 30 seconds to go. RDA could find the shot. No. Oh, Luque's on his back. Luque's on his back now. He went shooting for a double leg. He didn't have it in him to finish that double leg. He pulls guard. He closes the guard. There's 15 seconds to go. 10 seconds to go. Is RDA going to be able to land some ground and pound? He's been trying to get to this position the whole fight. He looks like he's landed an elbow. There's 3, 2, 1, time. And that, my friend, should be the fact. That should be Luque's fight. Now, the thing that somebody was saying before about paydays, not only that, it amuses me, man. It really does. Like, and again, I'm not bagging the UFC, but I'm saying, like, sometimes the fighters, they're like, oh, I was homeless. Like, I signed with the UFC, but I'm homeless, or signed with the UFC. And then you see like someone give them a house or give you some. And I think, like, in what sporting organization can you imagine, like, you sign with some big soccer team or big football team and you're still homeless? You're still waiting for somebody in the organization to pay you. If you were a carpenter and you got a full-time if you were a carpenter and you got a full-time working contract as a full-time carpenter, you wouldn't be homeless. So, and again, I'm not saying the UFC should pay them more. I'm not saying the UFC should I'm not saying the UFC should do anything, but I'm just saying, like, to act like that is an amazing thing. I think, like, what the fuck? How do you not think that that's weird? That's so weird to me, that people act like, oh, that's such a great thing that was done by the UFC. They gave this guy accommodation, or they gave this guy this, or they gave this guy that. And I think, but he signed as a professional fighter to the biggest organization in MMA that there's ever been. You should just be okay financially. It's not that difficult a thing. Guys, I'm going to be doing a few different things throughout the week in the lead up to the O'Malley fight, O'Malley versus Sterling fight. So catch me during the week, and please come here next week so we can watch the fight together. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Share it with your friends, and I will see you guys very, very soon. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate it. Take care.